Well, let's see. We're going to get, there's already someone here. Let me get to the comment section. I have a new member. Before we get any further, Ken Harris has become a member of the tube. That the membership, that is 31 as far as members right now. Now, I don't want you guys to think this is at all being done professional. You are currently sitting on top of 3 milk crates and a piece of wood in my garage. But in the green room is my friend David Horstman. David set up a show, how do I want to say this? I'll just bring David in and let him say it.
Hey, bud, how's it going?
What's going on? We had a person, now we have no persons.
Oh no, we lost a person.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe we could just kind of just do what we were doing before. Is that one of your kids' pictures behind you?
Yes, it is. Right there.
Hey, Aiden's how you doing, buddy? Okay, so as you guys can see, Aiden also is paying members. So just in case you were ever curious, David, because you're stingy, you don't ever give me anything. I'm kidding. David is a member of the channel.
So I think I was one of the first.
I think you were one of the first. So let's see here. So we got a couple people here. So who else here besides Aiden? I don't want to have to backtrack and go through this stuff. But so you said you've been hunting the last couple of days.
Yeah, so I've been out after so Washington State is where I live, and you get one over-the-counter Columbia blacktail tag, right? Well, general deer tag. And we have Columbia blacktail, we have mule deer, we do have Columbia whitetail, which are extremely rare. They're pretty protected. And then we have also one that's kind of a mule deer whitetail cross species that we call a bench leg. You're messing with me.
I just want to see what I was doing.
It was good. Yeah. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Duval. Anyway, so I got a second deer tag for a place called Vashon Island. That is a hugely overpopulated with blacktail. There's a lot of really private land. It feels like a news broadcast. All right, everybody, how we doing today? Okay, what we're going to be talking about is anyway.
A very badly executed news.
All right, there, Jim Bob. So we're going down a fishing haul today. What kind of weather do you think we're going to have down there today?
So anyway, you were out on the island and it's overpopulated. You killed a bunch of stuff.
Overpopulated with deer. And they have something that's called they have like this hair loss disease thing that happens. So they're basically their winter coats.
Is it like mange?
It's not mange. No, it's nothing like mange. It's so you know how they shed their winter coats and their summer coats. So when I was in 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines Fox Company, the magnificent bastards. So
no, they were. He was just there.
Oh.
Every unit needs someone there for comic relief.
Yes, we do. And so to help because there's no natural predators on Vashon Island. Besides coyotes, and those are terrible little creatures anyway. So we get a second deer tag to help diminish and to help balance the population of the deer there. Because they're just, dude, you just drive through town and there's like 4-point blacktails, which are really, really hard to find. I added a question. Sup, Casper? Who's Casper? Oh, Casper's one of the other people.
Casper the ghost.
The friendly ghost.
The friendly ghost.
Yes. And so, I mean, there's 4 points that will be walking through downtown Vashon. They're just like, what's up, dude? Okay. And they just kind of keep walking. So I've been out there the last couple of days, and with we have a pseudo heat, like late season heat wave going on. Haven't really been able to get a shot off and to fill my antlerless tag. So yeah.
Look who has arrived.
Oh, geez.
Told you I was going to text and let you know.
What's up, buddy? Hey, Justin. So, yeah, so if you guys are looking for some really comfortable shirts, you got Fiberlite, FirestarterEmberShirtCo.com. I don't have my t-shirt because it's back at camp.
Sorry, Justin. I wore all the ones that I have and they're dirty and I haven't washed them yet. I thought about that after that. I should have probably kept one clean for this. So
the awesome thing about
I don't know if we can trust the viewer count that's up in that corner up there, where it says 4 people. You don't
live.
Yeah, well, you don't see everything I see. So I got a list of questions.
All right.
All right, so we're going to start. And some of the questions are serious, and some of the questions are just the fact that I'm going to harass you, because you're a jarhead. So, guys, don't use any big words in your questions, please. And if
you have to give me a chance to sound it out, okay? I'll do the clap
method. If need be, I'll decipher it for him, and I'll turn it into I'll dumb it down for him, because he was a Marine and he was a grunt. So at least he wasn't a pogue. No one likes pogues. Okay, so David,
up the infantry air.
David, how did you get the height waiver to get into the Marines?
You're a prick. I'm actually 1.5 inches shorter when I originally joined the Marine Corps. I was 5'10" when I first joined. I'm 5'8.5" now.
Yep. I think I was 6'1" when I joined, and I wound up leaving. I grew 2 inches after I joined the Navy.
How? Oh, that's right. You guys don't have to wear packs.
It's not that. I just wasn't done growing. I was a late bloomer. So.
Yeah. I a lot of weight and a lot of distances, and I have blown discs and compressed discs all through my back on my spine. So it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun there.
Guys, I'm going to apologize in advance if the quality drops. We were dealing with this while we were in the studio in the green room trying to set all this up. The Wi-Fi it's sporadic, and the fact is we're sending a lot of data back and forth to do this. So you may have times where it gets pixelated, but that's not the important part about this. So now
you're on the bottom part of the West Coast, and I'm on the top part of the West Coast.
Which means that what I'm saying has to go to fucking space and come down to your house and vice versa.
Yes, sir.
Dude,
we're space travel. Do they really eat crayons?
What's your favorite game?
I mean,
don't really eat.
Every now, recently, I've seen guys do it as a joke. But no, in my time, we were never called crayon eaters. That's something that developed after 2009. No,
they were leather helmet wearing window lickers. That's what they were.
Window lickers back then, or crunchies.
Guys, I'm sorry, it's chilly in here. I wanted to leave my USS.
No, it's below 80 degrees. I'm going to freeze to death.
It's down in the 60s already tonight.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, in San Diego, where you used to like 70s and 80s. Okay, so honest question. This is the honest question, and we can bring up the website and talk about it if you want. The Bastard Road project, and I'm going to add something up here right now while you start to talk about it. I'm going to share something so some of the guys can see it. So the Bastard Road originally was, what was it started as?
So this is a documentary, that you can find on iTunes, and you can buy a DVD or a Blu-ray on Amazon. As you can see, it has won a plethora of awards. So back in, I want to say 2015, 2016, Jonathan Hancock, who is the star of the documentary, who's the CEO of the Bastards Road Project. He was also my first squad leader when I got to 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines Fox Company. Jonathan was a squad leader during the Battle of Ramadi in 2004, which, for those who know current military history, is the bloodiest battle since, I want to say, Vietnam, where 1 in 4 Marines was either killed or injured. And that took a pretty big toll on John during the rest of his career in the Marine Corps. And then as he got out, he battled with his, as we all do, with substance abuse and all that kind of stuff, and led him down a pretty dark hole to a failed attempt suicide. And then after that, he saw that there was a man swimming the length of the Mississippi. And so John was like, you know what, I can do something like that. And he started training and riding a bike and doing all the stuff. He wanted to walk from Maryland to Camp Pendleton. And as he was doing that along the way, he was stopping off at Gold Star families. And for those who aren't familiar with what a Gold Star family is, it's a family that has lost a member during a time of war. So then John was also stopping off at survivors' homes and all the other Marines that he served with and all this stuff all along his travel. He walked from Maryland to Camp Pendleton all across the country. And during that, John realized that he was able to unbox and uncompartmentalize the trauma triggers that he had been suppressing and not dealing with for years, like so many of us do. And so it brought him to this idea that he wanted was to, which has now become the Bastards Road Project. And the reason why we call it the Bastards Road Project is because 2-4 were known as the Magnificent Bastards. And it's also an homage where the apostrophe is the Bastards Road. Is kind of how warfighters and deployed individuals have to deal when we come home. We are sort of pseudo treated like bastards. There's a stigma about us and all that stuff. So there's a double entendre with that as well. But we take veterans on long hikes to figure some shit out. That's our tagline. It's the base of our mission statement. So we
let's go for a walk in the woods.
Yeah, no. So we did our first hike at Flatiron in the Superstitious Mountain Ranges of northern Phoenix, down there in Arizona. We did 20.43 miles in the course of, I want to say, like 36 hours, with a total elevation gain of loss of roughly 6,000 feet. It was 6 of us. I can't remember. If you want to pull up the
yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. I'm going to pull up the actual website.
So the website is theBastardsRoadProject.org. We have teamed up with a whole bunch of different companies. We have an entire sponsors page. If you go to the About page there, our mission, our story, and yeah, this is if you want to help donate.
Figure some shit out.
Figure some shit out. Yep. So the idea of that is through prolonged exposure therapy and cognitive processing therapy. I don't want to give away too much about how it's completely done because that's a pretty intimate detail, a part of the hike. But basically what happens is while we're on the hike, we hold on to a memory that has really been bothering us or something from our time downrange, or, we don't talk, we don't tell each other what it is. And then we hike and we think about it. And then at the end of the hike, in a hot wash, we'll sit there and we'll take turns, and everybody gets to go off and talk with John or me if I'm there as well. And we just kind of let it go, and if you're going to watch the documentary, make sure you have a box of tissues. I have not been able to get through without crying yet. I
started to watch it and I was like, yeah, I don't have the emotional energy for this today. I think I will let this one be for right now.
Yeah. When's the next one I need to make shirts for? It's actually tomorrow. I thought we talked about that.
I don't think he has time. I don't think that's enough time, David. It's obvious that your time in the Marines did not prep you for proper planning.
I guess when we talked about this. Then again, I've been all over the board chasing a whole bunch of stuff. So not only do I do everything with the Bastards Road Project, I have all my hunting stuff, and then 2 boys and all that. So
I'm trying to, while you're talking, I am definitely trying to figure out what's going on with the connection, because is it bad for everyone? Because I don't know how mine
happens to armed force veterans. I mean, yes, it is. It's very sad to see that we're promised one thing and it never actually happens. And the only time politicians really get behind us, besides Dan Crenshaw, who has been always there for us since he is one of us. I have been all over the board too. Yeah, we've been all over the place, man. I know you're getting ready for a whole bunch of stuff, and we'll get it figured out and squared away. We're not worried about it. That a lot of the folks will talk about veterans and want to be and support veterans when the cameras are on them. What about the Star Children? There are groups and stuff for the children of fallen servicemen and women. Yes, there is that as well. That is something that is once we can get the BRP up and going and doing everything that we want to, there's probably some aspect there. I know that we want to branch out and try to bring.
I wanted to throw this out. So I know everybody's got questions. I am going to do some question and answer stuff, but like I kind of want to get I want to get David to get the whole story because, well, David has, he's one of those guys. Oh, looks shiny, and he's going to get sidetracked. Yes. So constantly. So basically, you guys are doing that, but I know that there's another project that you're working on as well.
Oh, with Joe Maynard and Sam Smith from so there's another one that
was men's mental health in general, correct? Yeah,
just men's mental health in general. And that was Shelter from the Storm. Joe, Sam, and I, we did a bushcraft winter camp out up here in the Olympic Mountain Range on the Washington Peninsula, which is a very, very hard place to survive because it's always wet. Yeah. It's really hard to get fires going, and thank God we had our Fiberlite fire starter with us, because that you can start a fire anywhere.
It's a whole plug right there. You really can. Like, you absolutely can.
On top of water, I've done it. So basically, the idea for men's mental health and veterans mental health is a very, very big thing for me personally, and something that I have always tried. It was something recently that I've tried to champion for lack of a better term. Is once I got off of active duty, I didn't have
I have to take care of something.
Yeah, no worries. I didn't really have a place to live. My own family wasn't really there for me. Actually, to this day, it's still a pretty rough relationship. And it's very, very hard to try to progress when you don't feel that you have a support network, or that anybody out there in the world even cares if you're waking up in the morning. So that's one of the things that I've made on my my Instagram channel, my YouTube channel, and my Facebook pages, to always, hey, if you need to talk, I am here. I'm not licensed in any way, shape, or form, but I can tell you what's worked for me. And
that's big. If you read the tickler at the bottom, that's one of the things that I've got going on that tickler in the bottom, is just simply letting someone know that you're there, and if you want to talk, that's a big thing. But you got to mean it too, though. That's the thing. You really do have to. Because there's our times, I've got family and I want to talk to them, and they're like, "Oh, God, I don't want to talk to them." Like, it's always so much to unpack when you talk with Mike. And I was like, "Well, fuck you then. I'll talk with my friends." And like you said, it has put a wedge between not my mom, not my dad, before when my dad was still alive, but definitely parts of my family are like, "Oh, like we got nothing in common." It's just like, he was in the military. I just can't even talk to him. And so I'm like, well, you know what?
Yeah. There's no point to it. Why should I even try to fix myself if my own blood doesn't want to be a part of me?
Right? Which only makes it worse.
Yes, and to realize that it's not a you problem, it's a them problem, and realizing that anything that we take with us, that burden that we carry from our voluntary time in service, is just that. It's a burden, but until we can learn to unpack it from ourselves and to I go the Viking. Yeah.
Little Viking, like a little miniature Viking. They took him
along. I choose you. Go. I was a little guy. You throw him up on a shield and he goes flying squirrel at you with two bearded axes. Yeah, that would be me. Anyway, so, I'm getting sidetracked again.
The Bastard Road program, the Bastard Road. I'm going to put a link to it in the description of the video. But I mean, there's a lot of veterans programs out there. Like you said, I'm going to have Joe on the show. I already talked with Joe Menard. So if you guys don't know who Joe Menard is, Joe is, what is it? Primitive. Is it the Primitive Edge?
Primitive Grind Forward.
Primitive Grind. And he was on, wasn't Joe? Joe was on Naked and Afraid.
Naked and Afraid. Yep.
Yeah. So Joe was on there, and so Joe's a great guy. I've talked to him. Like, awesome, I like him. Joe. He's he's hilarious. Like, I was never a big fan of officers, but when I talked to Joe, I'm like,
He's a Warno.
Yeah, I'll still
don't
I
get
know
it
you're
twisted.
an officer. Yeah, they still. Yeah,
Joe
you're right.
is- he is.
He's a blast.
Dude, I don't know how to like properly explain just how awesome that man truly is.
I don't think we even need to, because you guys are going to get to meet Joe here in the next couple of weeks, because Joe and I are going to do kind of the same thing. Yeah, Joe Menard. He's a freaking nut.
The guy is amazing.
Okay, so we talked about the Bastard Road project, which is the focus of this. So we've got out there. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put a link.
So so with that, so what we try to do with that is that we try to make it as low impact to the veteran as possible. We supply a backpack, we supply the food, we supply a tent, sleeping pad. We have so Teton Sports is a big sponsor of ours. Pinnacle Foods, the Alaskan Bush Adventure, Sacred Mountain Retreat Center, Save the Brave. We have Grail, 0 Mile Mark, Alaskan Gear Guide, REI, Burbiz, Infuse Hydration, Combat Comb Over, Fox River, Groove, Sawyer, Fiberlite, Fire Starters, Thorogood Boots, Ready Man, and Chotch Industry Clothing. There's also Pinnacle Foods. There's oh god, who else?
Combat Comb Over. These guys, Fiberlite Firestarter, he's in the Combat Comb Over. Those guys are great. Ready Man Group, that Jeff over there is a great guy, and Justin at Fiberlite actually is the one that got me in touch with him. And Jeff Kirkham is probably one of the guy. He's one of the greatest people I've ever had the opportunity to ever get to talk to. I haven't even got to meet him in person yet. I've only talked to him on the phone and text and stuff like that. But just getting to talk to him like that, he's an amazing, amazing guy. So all those guys that are on there that you guys saw me scroll through, great, awesome companies. I'm going to shut that back down there.
Yeah. We do have a donation button on there. So if you want to donate to the cause, you can feel free to go ahead and do that. If you know,
I would bring it back to show you, but I closed the tab. I'm sorry.
Pinnacle Foods. I remember selling to them when I lived in Tukwila. I work for Granger. Pinnacle Foods, they make all their stuff small batch. They're actually relatively new out of Missoula, Montana. So, I mean, it may have been before I found them. I don't really know. I mean, Granger does sell a whole bunch of stuff. So, I mean, I can't really talk on that much. But if you're looking for some of the best packed food, yeah, that's true. If you are looking for the best packed food on the planet with real life proteins without any soy or legume additives, so it's actually pure, actual real food, Pinnacle is the. It's okay. I mean, there used to be Pinnacle used to be an outdoor group. Is what I think is where that confusion comes from. I mean, it was spelt a little different. I think it was spelt differently, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so that's actually my aspect for the Bastard Road project is I help out with the gear donations and requisitions and in-kind donations. Yeah, soy is actually a very terrible thing that actually increases estrogen in your system, and it has some very, very bad side effects. I did
a video that YouTube took down where I talked about why I think that so many of like the Andy Tifa and soy boys are so angry, and it's the chemical imbalance cause. And it did get taken down because they took offense to it because I used it. But eating soy does cause an overabundance of estrogen in the male body, which your body is not built for that, and it definitely causes a lot of weird things.
And that's one of the things that I love about Pinnacle Foods. Sorry, I mean, snaz.
We'll go through questions later.
Okay.
Like I said, we're going to do a question and answer. We'll do a question and answer at the end. This is more interview. If there's something, I'll tell you what, I'll pick stuff that like, I want to like that. Like we'll see. No, I'm sorry. Like that. Oh, that's not it. This is the one. After that one, there it was. They eat soy in the Navy. There you go. I was trying to get to it. The comments were coming in. So,
I'm surprised I actually survived my life in the military with how much soy there is, because I have a severe legume allergy. And so if I
you're
go, I
telling
go
me
into full
not only are you short, but your body is so weak it can't handle a nut.
no, a bean, you prick. I mean,
Oh yeah, you handle nuts just fine.
well, I mean, yeah, we did
I was
ride on
waiting-
a lot of
I was
naval
waiting for
vessels,
it.
so y'all are, what's the term, nearer than squirrel turds?
All right, so we talked about the Bachelorette program. We've already got the sponsor stuff figured out. So next question on my list of questions.
Is it an abusive question or is it
Yes. This is the way I have it formatted. There's an abusive question, and then there's a serious question, and then there's an abusive question, and it's just like having a regular conversation with me, David.
Oh, okay,
Come on.
okay. So we're good. Okay.
So,
Question.
does being short really suck? I don't know.
No,
I'm 60.
because I don't. Actually, it's really advantageous for me in the hunting aspects, because I'm a lot lower to the brush, a lot lower to the ground, so I'm not as formidable to the creatures. And contrary to popular belief, a lot of us infantry guys are short because the tall ones get shot.
Jump behind that walking sandbag.
I can get behind a pebble. I'm good.
Okay, so
where did he? Well, my nickname in the Marine Corps is Mouse. So I mean,
I did this because I wanted to have, because David. Okay, so David and I met. What was it? 3 years ago. Same time I met Justin. We all met at Blade West. 2 years ago.
3 years ago now.
Yeah, something like that. And so we met up there. Justin apparently knew me. I didn't know. I had no idea.
Really, Justin. Anyway.
So at any rate, so Justin here, Fiberlite Fire Starters, apparently knew me. I was really surprised. Like, I didn't expect to go to a knife show and have a lot of people know me. I mean, I have a very small channel. Justin knew who I was. Oh, hey. Well, we'll get to that. There's some knife questions in here. What's your favorite custom knife? There you go. Let's just ask that one, since while I'm pontificating.
It's gonna be this the sea snake here. That is, I don't know if we can get that on there, but this beautifully handcrafted this thing is scalpel thin behind the edge there.
Terrifying.
I mean, this is just, it's scary because I've actually cut myself and not known it with this blade so many times.
That's a custom one, Aiden. That's a full custom.
Yeah, this one took some time to get made, and it is one of my favorite possessions in life right now. No, you're not. Obviously, you're not dead. Fiberlite Firestill, you're obviously not dead. I can see you leaving comments. Okay, so here comes a serious question. Now that we talked about that, I appreciate that. That was a lot of fun to make. It was nerve-wracking to make. I'm not gonna lie, because I knew when I make a knife for a friend, I don't care how well I do on any knife. When I make a knife for a friend, I always hold it. See that, but that is just some scrutiny that I mean, I hold every knife to a lot of scrutiny. We don't want to talk about how much you paid for that. No, we're not gonna. We don't. I usually don't. I like to keep the prices like between me and the customer, because people flip out when they find out how much a custom made knife can be. Well, we talked a lot about really custom work on this one and very specific details about it. So this is and that was done. That has a true hamon. It's got a differential heat treat, so the spine is softer than the front. It's ground super, super thin. It has a false hamon that was etched into it, and it was polished, and it was done with did I do that in I did that one in black G10, polished it, and then did the hardware blue. So I tried to do a thin blue line on it, but the liner material I had for it did not work out. It shrunk. Yeah. So, no, that was not a plug for the knife. This is just one of my favorite knives that I have. So serious question, not abusive question. We're at the 30-minute mark, and we're not even halfway through the questions.
what do you miss most about the military? And I imagine that it's going to be the same thing. I would say everyone that I talk to, it's the same thing. Everybody thinks they miss the military. They don't. They miss specific things.
Miss my friends.
I
miss the camaraderie.
I don't miss the Navy. I miss the boys.
Yep. And it's the same thing. Like people ask me, well, why'd you want to go overseas and fight? And it's like, honestly, the reasons didn't matter why I wanted to go overseas. When we got there, it was about the guy to my left and the guy to my right, the guy to my sixth and the guy in front of me. All politics went aside. I mean, you get to know each other. Like, you can see the silhouette of somebody and know who they are by the way they move or they don't move. I mean, you get to know people by the smell of their flatulence. I mean, it's
Davies, you stink. How is it everything you eat, Smith? You can't be healthy. That's not a smell like that's not supposed to come out of my health.
Died in you.
You smell like that on the inside. Yeah.
And it's just, there's still a couple of guys that I keep in contact with and everything else like that. There's some guys that I wish we kept in contact more, but everybody has chow when asked. Oh, because the chow is terrible.
You don't miss the 4 fingers of death.
I was lucky enough to come in after they phased that out. So, although we did have the veggie omelet MRE.
Okay, but the veggie omelet MRE redeemed itself because if you threw the veggie omelet away, everything else in that meal packet was amazing.
Oh yeah, everything else was bomb.
What I like
to do was grab that one and then find a spicy penne pasta, grab that one, and then rat fuck a chili mac. Sorry, I'm not supposed to cuss. And then
we just can't do too much. We have to be careful.
Yeah, I know.
Meals refusing to exit.
That is very true. It actually says do not eat.
Give me your white gum, bro, please. I need your white gum. I haven't shit in 3 days.
You got any coffee I can dip real quick? The Ranger dip. Yeah,
it is good if you.
If you don't develop a nicotine addiction whilst you're in the military. Did you ever really serve?
I like to tell people this. I was the guy that I would wake up in the middle of the night and put in a dip of Copenhagen and go back to sleep. Like in the middle of that, I'd sit up and grip my can, put in a dip and go back to sleep. Guys were like, I've never seen him ever spit out a dip. Like he takes it out, puts it in his can, mixes it around. That way no one asks if they can bum a dip at the chow line, then puts a dip back in right after chow. Like he'll take one out, brush his teeth, and put one right back in. And everybody's like, where's your spit cup? And I was like, spit cup? You know how much this shit costs? I'm not spitting that out.
There's a guy in my unit. I can't remember the name for the life of me right now, but you always got that one. How can I say this? Good old boy.
The one what?
You always got that one good old boy, that one country bumpkin who just always has a dip in, but never brushes their teeth.
Oh, I brushed my teeth.
Yeah, but you know that guy I'm talking about. That real, that one dude who just always had a little bit of skull or right between his teeth and just never. Always thought that dressing up was blue jeans and his boots and his high school 4-H belt buckle. There's always that guy. He's usually from Texas. Love my buddies from Texas.
Or Southeast Ohio, or Columbia, Missouri. Those are the 3 places. I'm from Southeast Ohio, and my best friend Clint was that guy, and he was from Columbia, Missouri. Guys, if you guys are keeping an eye, I can't see how many likes there are. If you guys are watching the likes, keep an eye on it and start telling people to pound the like button. You always have that guy.
There's always that guy. But his favorite MRE was the veggie omelet. He was that nasty of a dude. I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Beardo the Weirdo. Sorry, Beardo the Weirdo. I did see your email. So what I was going to ask you was, it looks like I'm getting a time set up to actually, sorry, I didn't mean to do this, but it looks like he's leaving. I have a time maybe to set up that I can do some anodizing. So just let me know what color you want that beastly knife of yours anodized, and if I can do it this week or this weekend or later next week, I will definitely try to get up to Elliott's and do it. So there you go. That was that. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt your story. The classic 4-H belt buckle.
There's always one. There's always one.
There is. Sometimes there's more. Sometimes there's several.
Yeah. My favorite MRE, the ham slice. Okay, you security force guys confuse the hell out of me. You guys got some weird stuff going on. I
always like the what was it? The one that came with the fajitas, the barbecue beef with the fajitas, or not the fajitas, the barbecue beef with the tortillas. You know what I'm talking about?
There's a chicken fajitas. It was a chicken
fajitas, but there was a barbecue beef one that didn't come with bread. It came with tortillas.
Yeah.
That one was good. That one was actually it was almost,
I think it was like barbecued short rib, like spare
ribs
or something.
Exactly.
Like
it was like barbecue, and it was
like really, the McRib from McDonald's.
Yeah, it was chopped up in the sauce.
Tortilla.
Yeah, it was. I loved it. Like I honestly, I was like, when we be eating my MREs, I'd be going through them. And the chili mac was too. The chili mac.
You could, if you had chili mac and some Skittles.
Oh yeah, you
could trade for almost anything.
If there was a female in your unit and you had Skittles and chili mac, you could probably squirrel away getting laid if you were single. Not saying
we didn't have any around me.
Know what I'm saying?
I could never talk on that one. Pizza MRE. What?
Huh?
Miguel says there's a pizza MRE now.
I don't.
New age? I mean, hopefully, food's better now.
Hey, I mean, it's not like it could have gotten worse. Yeah, it could have. I'm not gonna lie. There were times that I had shipboard food that I would have taken an MRE and been like, "Could I just get an MRE from the Marines, please?" So
actually, speaking of the USS Dubuque, that we both were on at different time frames of its life, we were coming back from Iraq. And I went to Iraq 168 pounds. I came back 134 because you lose weight overseas. And the USS Dubuque was put on a ration. Oh, lemon pound cake. Oh, lemon poppy seed. Oh, there you go.
You knew that one was going to pop up. That thing. Yeah.
That's how you know who the OGs are.
Yeah, that's an
OG
good
thing right there.
That's good.
Yeah,
the chili mac. Yeah, because it always came with the lemon pound cake. Every once in a while, you
get the chow hall. What are you, Air Force?
Pumpkin spice pound cake.
There was pumpkin spice pound cake. Yeah.
So yeah, there was the lemon. It came. So the chili mac either came with the lemon pound cake or that the snack bread, the wheat snack.
Yeah, the wheat snack bread. Yeah.
Oh,
and then you get some the Jalapeno's cheese spread. Yeah.
Yeah.
We always pronounced it. I know it's jalapeno, but we always pronounced it wrong just because. There
was no real jalapenos in that, and you always had to lay it out on the hood of the Humvee before you could. Like, it was like a brick. You could knock someone unconscious with it if you put it in a sock,
like a little blackjack.
Lay it out on the hood of the Humvee to get it, so you could at least get it on the bread and not break it.
There's actually a technique you can use that to knock out a sentry. If I'm cold enough. Anyway, so back to the USS Dubuque. So we were coming back, and there was this very, very obese first class in front of me in the chow line. I know, right? First class obese? Never. And Cookie had given him double portion and gave me the portly man's half portion that he was supposed to have. And I looked up at the Cookie and I was like, "Hey, can I get some more food here?" And the first class turns and looks at me and says, "Shut up, Marine. You'll eat what you're given." And my team leader, Swanson, who was born in the wrong era, this dude would have been so much more at home in a Viking shield wall, just being a mercenary for people and just massacring people with an axe. This dude had a bloodlust that was unfathomable. Great Marine, great leader, just touched individual, awesome guy. So he looks at the first class and goes, you know what, Piggy, eat off the floor, and just slaps his tray out of his hand. And so Swanson was a lance corporal or corporal at the time. And first class is an E6. So we had an E3, E4 slapping an E6's tray out of his hand. Needless to say, a fight broke out.
No, on the USS Dubuque, a fight between Marines and sailors?
I know, crazy.
I am so appalled.
I know. And yeah, we had a pretty good brawl. We got confined to quarters for a couple of days. After that, though, everything got squashed and settled, and it was pretty fun.
I do have to agree with you. So some ships have a reputation of having good food, and some ships have a reputation for having bad food. And then there's the USS Dubuque, where I just would go to the I would go to the mess decks and just pray that they had peanut butter and jelly and bread, because that was the only thing on that ship worth eating. Like I'm like, how do you screw up corn? Like, you take it out of a can and you heat it up. It's already, how do you screw that up? Like, I was like,
ham, bacon.
Yeah, pre-made luncheon ham that just is already sliced.
Yeah,
and they would all they had to do was heat it up and put it on your tray.
And I don't know how, it was.
What was this?
5-ounce Vegetan leather is basically what it was.
Oh, no cameras. Damn. What happened? Did you guys lose us in the feed? I'm just curious. What's happening?
No camera.
What's going on here? Somebody let me know. I was going to tell you guys, but it's too late now because we're already into it. I was going to any of the super chats that we got, I was going to donate half of it to the Bastard Grow program, but we already are 40 minutes in. I'm sorry. I didn't even think about it. You see me? Good. Oh, no fight. Okay, next question. We're officially halfway through.
Woohoo.
Does your wife beat you?
No.
No? I mean, like not even if you ask real nicely?
Well, maybe.
Please? Okay, now here comes question and answer. So we're going to go hunting and general question and answer. This is where I had it set up that you guys could ask David some questions. David is basically a full-time hunter at this point. There's deals with sponsorships and things that he can't really get into because he really can't enter into one because of the whole disabled veteran and disability things. But this is your chance to ask David whatever questions you want. Justin, I hope you're still here.
Oh God, no, please don't. So if you got any questions about hunting, hiking, what type of gear, before I got,
or just any, like I said, in general,
preference?
any questions. If you guys have any specific questions about the Bastard Grove, go for it. I'll be back. Yeah. This is my intermission question.
Hunting knife preference. Are you asking for a skinning knife? Are you asking for a survival knife? Are you asking for what kind of knife specifics? My favorite game to go after is elk. There's nothing like going after a big old Roosevelt or a Rocky Mountain elk. It is one of the most rewarding hunts of your life, especially if you can get them screaming back at you. And just as hopefully one of these days I'll be able to go on a moose hunt. I've done quite a few hogs, a lot of black-tailed deer is really, really fun because they're just so elusive. They're very, very hard to get on camera and to pattern properly, because during hunting season, they basically go nocturnal. So either you have, for field dressing, I'm a big fan of the Outdoor Edge replaceable blade knife.
Oh, you lazy bum.
Well, yeah, because a lot of the time we're in a place where I can't take the time to sharpen a knife real quick because there's bears and cougars about. So I like using the Outdoor Edge ones for field dressing. They have one that has a little flip zip knife that you can use to, cut down, and it's really easy. Oh, the old that's the Buck. That's an old Buck Classic with the clip point.
Buck 119 special. Actually, this was a gift. This was a gift from a YouTube.
You did a video on that. Yeah,
yep, I did. That's an awesome knife.
Those are great knives. And then I also carry my Mora bushcraft knife with me, or the Garberg as well, depending upon if I need more lightweight or if it's going to be colder. Depending upon the season, will dictate which knife I take with me. How long do you suffer from before leaving the Marine Corps to join the Army. That would be probably about. Actually, I'm still suffering. To be quite honest.
Come by the house. I got a hose. We can wash that out for you.
I'm still working on that pearl. Always time to dog quick edge repair. Yeah, no, that's true. But sometimes when it comes to field dressing an animal, I do what's called the gutless method, where we zip down the back and peel the skin back off the quarters and off the belly and the neck. And basically what we're doing is we're trying to get out of the field and cool the meat down as fast as possible. So if you don't get the meat cooled down and off the body, it can go rancid very, very quickly.
Really
and
fast.
Also that gives flies more time to lay eggs on your meat and for a lot of nasty stuff to happen. So basically it's not about doing it pretty and having, these beautiful fillets as I'm taking and cleaning the animal, because I'm not in a butcher shop. I'm in the middle of the woods with ticks and spiders and bugs and all sorts of nastiness, and the smell of blood brings predators. So you have cougars and black bear and coyotes and wolves, and depending upon some areas that you're in, speed is key. So my hunting buddy, who I always go with, we'll take turns keeping a lookout and all things like that. So everywhere I go, I also have a 10 millimeter little pew pew with me. So
that's right. I forgot. I'm supposed to help you find a rig for that.
Yes, I need to find a nice little chest rig for that. My favorite place to hunt. The woods.
Anywhere. Actually, I was actually picking on you when you. Aiden, ding, ding, ding! I don't have my thing to do the ding, ding, ding with. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Casper threw in too. So it just depends on the animal. It depends on the time of year. And so for turkeys, I'm probably going to say Eastern Washington. That's where I got my first on. Deer is going to be somewhere over here on the western side of Washington. Elk is going to be basically anywhere you can find them. Elk are.
Thank these guys, because you're getting half of that. Anything that comes in donations, the
nice.
Bachelorette Prayer program is getting half of.
Oh, heck yeah. Awesome.
So,
thank you, man.
So between Casper and Aiden, you just made $6.
Heck yeah. That'll pay for half of a meal for a guy.
Half of a 6-pack.
Yeah. And so when it comes down to it, I'm also a bow hunter. I don't hunt with a rifle. Hold on a second. Let me pull up my little snazziness here.
So guys, while he's doing that, I wanted to let you know, I had meant to mention that at the beginning. If you guys do drop a super chat, I'm giving 50% of it to the Bachelorette Prayer. That was part of the, and I forgot to write it, and I forgot to put it up. That was the whole plan. I was going to split it with those guys, because I mean, it's a good project, and it's like I said, you guys, if you guys follow me on full30.com, you saw my 22 a day video I did. I'm really passionate about it. I so far in August this year have lost 5 friends this year to just to the fact that they were more at peace at war than they are at home. And it's a really big thing. And that's why I really want to do this. I like playing around with David, but this was meant to be a serious thing to bring that up. And like I said, I'm going to put a link after I get done. I'll put a link to the the Bastard Road project in the description below, so you guys can go to.
Just all right, line, you know it. All right. So, well, hold on. We got ever done any hunting in the Pacific Northwest? Yes, that's where I live. Is the Pacific Northwest. I'm born and bred Oregon Washingtonian. So I hunt up here in the Pacific Northwest. And no, Cameron Haynes didn't teach me anything about hunting at all. Cameron Haynes does have a very good record for hunting. Yes, he does. And I have to be nice. So anyway. And he has done some good things for us.
Everything he says getting highlighted.
So this is my bow this year. No, I've never bagged a bison. I have, however, built arrows and crossbow bolts for some of my friends to go and hunt them. This is a 60-pound bow right now. Yes, Cameron Haynes is from the Pacific Northwest. He's lives down in Eugene area. This is the brand new 2021 Expedition X30. This is a super lightweight alloy that is infused with carbon. So it's one of those crossover bows for lightweight and rigidity. I am shooting micro diameter arrows that I hand built with a 3-blade replaceable. This is for my blacktail setup, a nice big hole. The bow is not taller than me. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. It is 30 inches axle to axle. I am 5'8.5". These the broadheads are made here in Washington State. I hand sharpen them, and then the arrows are from Serious Archery. I use custom hiking with a Viking neon wraps with Q2i fusion vanes. These things glow in the sunlight.
That is pretty sharp looking. I do have to admit, I've seen a lot of bows that are only. I mean, there are a lot of your arrows, and they are pretty cool looking. I never thought that I'd be like, that's a cool looking arrow. Like that wasn't ever growing up when I was a kid. It was just an arrow, and I never thought that I would say, well, that's a pretty cool looking arrow. But you actually.
This is my elk hunting setup where I use a solid blade because elk are a lot tougher than deer. So you need a more functionally built broadhead, for lack of a better term. Not that the vented blades wouldn't work. These just give me better long range accuracy and better penetration. So do the micro diameter arrows. There's a lot of dirty words in archery hunting. You got penetration, cock vein,
knock. I'm gonna knock it.
Then this is my small game head from Radical Archery.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you about what I did have a question written down. I'm glad you put that. So when you're doing small game like rabbits, is that's basically like the old judo points that had the fingers on the sides? The impact points?
Yeah, kind of. Remember doing any soft woodworking? Mm-hmm. That's exactly what that is.
That's what I was. And so that's what I thought. That's like
so the patented part is the adapter to the ferrule. So you can go buy these at any hardware store you want.
That is so much cheaper because those judo points are expensive. And the whole point, so the guys that don't know, I used to bow hunt a lot. So what those little spots on it actually come in really handy because if you're shooting an arrow at small game, there's a good chance you're going to miss because they're quick. Rabbits are quick. And the fact is that if you miss and it gets in the grass, those fingers will catch in the grass and it actually lifts the ass end of the arrow up so you can flash it with a light and see your knock and be able to find your arrow because arrows are expensive. Hi, Miss Viking.
They say hello. So the other aspect of this head, it's okay. Is that what I really like about it is that this sunken part right here that gives it a nice like a hollow point look. So you actually get some good hydrostatic shock as well into the small game. Yes, penetration. Always want one hole is good, 2 holes is best. Rabbit stew. You can never go wrong with a good rabbit stew. Actually, Mike and I were talking about that a couple of months ago. We were talking about
so I actually got in trouble with some family because one of my cousins, this is a Facebook thing. So me being me, and I had loaded the glass saxophone with the jazz cabbage, and I go on Facebook, and one of my cousins is like, "Oh my God, this rabbit came in my house. What do I do with it?" And she's got a picture of this little rabbit that was like really tame and just came in the house, and now is in a box. She's like, "Should I keep it? What should I do with it? What do I do with this rabbit?" And I was like, usually what I would do is after you skin it and gut it, you parboil it, pull the meat off the bone, let it cool, roll it in flour and cook it in butter. And it's just delicious that way. And there was and then you use the drippings and you make gravy. And she was like, "That's not at all what I fucking meant, Mike." And I'm like, that's what I'd do with it. Like if a rabbit crawled in here and hopped up on the couch with me, I'm going to hit it with a hammer handle and I'm going to have it for supper.
Yep.
Because as cute as I have a theory as well. I think
Miguel, yes, there is Viking swag. You can go to embershirtco.com. Embershirtco.com and my t-shirt actually has an arrow on it. It has the fletchings of an arrow. This is not my influencer t-shirt. You can also go on to Amazon and type in hiking with a Viking. There's some of my logo t-shirts there as well.
Don't ask me. I have no idea what just happened. but I was no longer in the
likes me
studio.
more.
Like my entire. Luckily, when you set this up, like everything shut down. Like I had to log back into StreamYard. I'm like, oh no, oh no.
Snakes actually. Rattlesnake is delicious.
Yes.
I cannot. I don't have any keychains yet. No. I will have some patches soon, and I do have some stickers. So if you want to message me on Instagram at Hiking with the Viking, we can get that figured out for you.
So I have a question for you. Can you verify my theory on this?
Okay, what?
I have come to realize that the cuter and fluffier and more that you want an animal as a pet, the tastier it is. Because rabbit is really good. Rabbit and squirrel are what chicken would have been if it had just tried a little. Give it a shot.
Squirrel is tree bacon. Squirrel is
so
delicious.
Good. But I'll tell you something that I have found that's even better. And you got to have a lot of them. Chipmunks, ground squirrels.
Oh yeah, chipmunks. I heard guinea.
You got to have a bunch of them. Like you got to have a patient day with an air rifle out near the.
I really like grouse hunting up here.
Grouse is really
getting the blue grouse is those woods chickens. I mean, we made some grouse noodle soup one night after I got out too.
Grouse
and
it was amazing. Pheasant is really good too.
Pheasant's delicious.
Prairie chicken. Prairie chicken, surprisingly, as tough as it can be, if it's cooked properly, is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Quail
eggs. If you ever want to have the most decadent burger on the planet, you get some Wagyu beef, some.
Why would you ruin Wagyu? Bacon, I hate quail eggs.
And then you put some soft boiled quail eggs on top. Oh, it is to die for. Duck eggs are really good on burgers too.
All right, guys, I had to remove him because I don't want to hear anything else he has to say because quail eggs are disgusting. And the fact that you would ruin Wagyu beef with quail eggs, that's disgusting. That's like, hey, I made you some oatmeal raisin cookies. Cool. I put walnuts in them. Fucking keep them.
Oh, man.
Disgusting. I hate quail eggs. They're disgusting. Duck egg, if you're going to tell me you put some duck egg, I could get in behind some duck egg.
Yeah, duck egg.
Everything's better if you got some fatty duck. Everything about duck.
Oh, duck is delicious too. Goose is delicious.
If
you roast it, if you slow roast a goose, that's the only way to have goose.
You got to sweat it out. Like there's something about the fats in goose. Like duck fat is really good. The fat that's
actually,
in
I'm not a fan of caviar. I've never have been. It's not my that's bait.
It's bait. That's really expensive bait. Okay. Yeah, are you ready for the next? We've done the question and answer. We can always come back. Like if we got, I don't want to waste. I know that it's getting late for a lot of guys. So, Justin thought that was funny. So we've reached the question and general Q&A, and we'll do more question and answer at the end, and we'll have to do some stories, just like Jared does. But I don't want to keep everyone here too long.
Oh, dove is delicious.
Yeah, dove. Yeah, I have to agree. Morning dove, like on a dove hunt. Okay.
With breast them out, throw them in, fry them.
Is your pee-pee like an Audi belly button? Just thought of that. Look at it. It looks like a penis. I'm smaller.
Well, we all have our shortcomings in life, I guess.
You got hit with a lot of them.
I did.
It's like, hey, we're gonna skip those two guys. Just dump all the shortcomings. Like everything short, just dump it on him. Like, there you go.
This guy.
All right. So actually, that was just a joke. The actual question is, what is your favorite knife? It doesn't have to be the custom I made you. Like overall, what knife?
Favorite? See, that's the
if
thing
you could
is that
afford any knife you wanted, what knife would it be?
The Medford USMC Fighter, straight up.
Really? Yeah. Wow, I hope you entered into that giveaway because that's what they're giving away at Fiberlite Fire Starter.
Yeah, I know it is. I'm not eligible for it.
Yeah, I know. Neither am I. I got to handle it. Did a video about it. I don't even have a chance to win it. I kind of think that this dude right here, is kind of a dick because he sent me the knife and let me play with it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're not eligible." I'm like, "Oh, that's
when we were up in Portland, we went to the Medford
kidding,
show
Justin. I love you
afterwards, like the little Medford gathering. I think it was either right before the show or right after the show, or like after the first night. I can't remember. And yeah, Greg Medford's like, "Wait, you're a Marine, Dave?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Dude, you gotta come see this." And Greg Medford himself hands me one, and I'm just looking at him, just like,
"Oh, you must have caught him. You must have caught him on a day at a show where he wasn't riding cotton, and that's not a horse."
No. And well, we were actually at we went to a small this is like away from Blade Show West. It was another thing. Doing a giveaway on Saturday. Yes, if you go, you buy one of the some of the T-shirts, you get entered into the giveaway.
I think I think the entries are all done. I think that's what Justin told me the other day. I thought that like it's closed out.
Stay away from my bow, Willow.
It's live on Instagram. There we go.
Yeah, we had the Mexican hot dogs.
That is possibly one of the best things I've ever had is Mexican hot dogs.
Oh, dude, they're amazing. But it's not that amazing when you can hear the aftermath in the room next to you. It will haunt my dreams forever. That and Jaguar dealerships. Got to be there for those ones. But yeah, no. So Greg Medford hands me his version of the Marine Corps fighting knife, which is the K-bar. Which is so for those who don't know, the K-bar is not a survival knife. So if you have that for a survival knife, you're wrong.
Which is why I designed that. That's why we talked about the stonefish that I designed.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
That's a survival knife.
Yeah, actually, that's another knife I need to get in my collection.
I have a custom ready to be made. I'm just waiting for somebody to Roger up for it.
Yeah, I have. I'm going to Alaska in the middle of the month to go fishing, so that's not
maybe if Jolly Joe doesn't fucking shut everything down with the face diaper mandates. I can't say it out loud. So if you guys are curious, like, I'll put it in the comments and all that stuff. But like basically, that's the closest I'm going to come to a political statement in this video.
Yeah. So, and then just the way that the knife, the ergonomics of it just fit in your hand, how it's a drop point instead of a clip point, it's a flat grind instead of a hollow grind. I mean, do you have it?
Yeah, I got it right here. I meant to have it on the sofa with me. So like I said, I don't want you guys at all to think this is a professional production thing. You guys are on 3 empty milk crates and a piece of wood next to a love seat in my garage.
Oh, the stonefish. Yeah. Oh man, that is such a nice knife.
Yeah. I mean, it was just because I had K-bars and I'd had SRKs and I'd had some of the other knives that they issue. And I just never found them as useful as something like this, which is not as big, but it's still nimble. It's still got the multiple grips. It's got,
the thing that I loved about it is that I can still use it to baton. I can use it to skin. I can use it to fieldcraft. I can use it to bushcraft. Yes. Fieldcraft and bushcraft are two different things.
I redacted the tang so that if you need to break a piece of glass, if you have to, like, you can still use that as a glass breaker.
Yeah. No,
there was some thought into that one.
What's your backpacking knife? My backpacking knife would be either the Mora Garberg or the Mora Bushcraft. They're both very, very light blades.
I like the Mora Companion. I actually like the Mora Companion a little bit better. It's not quite as not quite as wide and long. It's a little bit. It's like $12, but I think I like it better than the Garberg, actually, if you want to know the truth.
I like the Bushcrafter better than the Garberg just because it fits my hand better. The Garberg, I have hot spots with the Garberg.
Yeah.
It has that really thick swell right there in the middle for some reason. And
you've got little carny hands. Like for me, it's not big.
Got the little lady fingers. I mean, they're all, I like the Mora knives just because they are lightweight. Mini Stonefish Scandinavic.
Sandvik steel.
Huh.
14C mini. Actually, there has been talk of coming up with a mini Stonefish. snuzz. So this is not the first I've heard of this. I actually was scheduled to make one for a guy, and then I don't know what happened. He kind of flaked out. I had the file ready so that like we could blow it out on water jet if I needed to, but it's not the first time that has come up.
So when it comes to 90-degree spines, the Bushcrafter has it. If you have a file, you can make a companion. The only downside of the companion is that high stainless steel content in that one does make it a bit of a pain in the ass to strike a ferro rod with.
The companion is carbon.
The companion is stainless.
No, it's not. My companion,
there's a companion heavy duty it's carbon.
Definitely carbon. Huh?
So the companion heavy duty is carbon.
That's the one I have.
The standard Mora companion, you go to like any store to pick it up for $15. That's stainless steel with a rough back spine.
Yeah. Mine's definitely carbon steel because I have to keep it.
That's the heavy duty companion. The heavy duty companion is phenomenal.
I love it.
The reason why I love those
even that it's still only like 15. When I got it, it was 12. I think it's 17 now.
Yeah. I mean, they're super easy to sharpen in the field. You find a river rock and you're back, you're back in town.
If you can even get it dull with that. I mean, that's basically their high curb
their Scandi grind.
The Scandi grind, but the carbon steel is that Scandinavian carbon steel is amazing.
C27, is that it?
Yeah, well, but if you breathe on it wrong, it will start to rust like that.
Yeah.
You've got
I always do either a mustard patina or I'll just petroleum jelly on it.
I put KPL heavy on it and wipe it on because it's gel and it just stays like that. I don't care if it patinas. I'd prefer to leave it. I don't want it to rust. I don't care if it patina. So,
those would be my personal choices. Just because when you're backpacking, you're in the backcountry, weight will kill you, especially with my body. I have to take breaks constantly. I'm
his legs because he has to keep up with everyone, so he has to take 2 steps for everybody else's 1.
If we're going uphill, I just lash onto somebody and they just drag me up and we're good.
Hop in my pocket, I'll give you a ride.
Much like you get like Yoda, but what would I'd be like the weird hillbilly version of Yoda,
like the baby Yoda.
Gragu or Gragu. I can't remember his name.
Knife talk, nice.
And then
good. Knife talk, nice.
But then again, I mean, everybody has a different type of grind, different type of steel, different blade shapes. I like a good drop point, just because it's very hard to curl the tip. I like a thicker spine on my knives just because of having the baton. And
I like a drop point. I like a drop point because, and that's part of the reason that these are both here, because I knew we were going to talk about this. The drop points have a tendency to not sweep up as quickly as some of the clip points. Like K-bar is like this, and so just not trying to compare my knife in any way, but like you can see there's a slower transition, so you got more usable blade. I like having a nice big flat and some belly, but I don't like the short transition from belly to tip. It's almost swept too quickly. And that's why this is like this.
Well, yeah, I mean, even, you turn me onto this guy right here, and I've been using this every single day, full flat grind, secondary bevel with a huge belly. And I can grab this and work it and do everything I need to with a nice, easy drop point. And having that belly, talking about cut efficiency, if you have that nice, gentle curve the entire time, your cut efficiency shoots through the roof. Where you have a full flat, it's going to be, I'd like your custom a little thicker than, It
is. And it is. I mentioned that they are a slight bit thicker. I forget what they want. I would have to actually measure. But like, I think that blade stock, when I start, before I start finishing and everything, starts at Shopcat's here, at 0.186 on blade stock thickness. 186, between 187 and 185 in that range. That's what it starts at. But then, with blade finishing and things, a lot of times they come in like 180, You know, it just depends on if I have to correct for a warp or if there's pitting coming out of heat treat and things like that. So they do have a tendency
the scales popping off.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, come here.
Not a drop of liquor unless they snuck. No, actually, I quit drinking about 3 years ago. I've been sober off of alcohol for quite some time. Need to put a sheep's foot on a knife. I'm in love. Ooh. Sheepfoot is always a very interesting style of a blade. Shopcat.
Shop.
Justin saying he wants you to make sheep's foot,
buddy.
But yeah, so and then talking about your different grinds, your different blade configurations. I mean, there's hundreds of different types of knives, you know, you can talk about, and different people like certain ones for certain things. Being up in the cold, I like a rat tail tang, just because I have less to have my hands get cold while I'm working. A full tang or an exposed tang knife, it can freeze to my hand if I'm in really cold weather, or if it gets really wet, it's going to slip. I have less handle material to keep it in my hand.
Jared's here. Hey, Jared. Yeah, Snuzz. Shopcat came in.
Shopcat. And then, I mean, even with that, then you have different cordages. 550 cord. I found this new one called Rapid Rope, which I'm absolutely in love with. It has 1,100 pound test strength instead of 550, and I've been using that for a whole bunch of stuff.
I actually have some stuff. Now, you couldn't use it for cordage on a knife, but I actually have some stuff, the eel tape, and it's like 2,200 pounds. It's like 550 cord, but it's like an inch wide, and like 3 millimeters thick.
Oh wow!
We used it to move. We used it to move something one time. We tied it to my buddy's hitch and pulled something off of a trailer with it.
I do not have a Bark River knife. One day I will have one of his. Actually, I met him at the Blade Show.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that I got one as a gift. The one that you saw in the video, that thing is an amazing outdoors knife. So I need to.
He definitely knows what he's doing with. I mean, there's a reason why he designs for tops. So
I just got been watching for a few. Lefty sent me your way. Awesome videos. Hey. Sorry, I was trying to see. So, guys, I apologize. I know that we could have gotten more traffic if I had done this on a different day, but I really didn't have a way to do it a different day this week. I wanted to get this soon, but I do know that Bobby, I had some people text me, like, why are you doing a live? Bobby DeMarco is doing his Thursday Night Knives. I texted Bobby. He knew I was doing it. I told him what this is about. This isn't necessarily a knife podcast kind of thing. So
no, if you're just joining us now, I'm one of the board members for the Bastard Road Project, which is a veteran nonprofit aimed at helping veterans come home full circle and taking care of the unseen wounds of war. Our tagline is to walk long distances and to figure some shit out. So we take veterans on through hikes where we talk about cognitive processing therapy and prolonged exposure therapy to help lessen the unseen wounds of war and the triggers of PTSD and the prolonged levels of trauma experienced with that.
And like I had said, so we've already had some super chats. Any super chats that come in, I'm splitting it with Bastards Road. We'll do a donation. We'll figure out what's going on with that. I'll look at the end result. I know we had a $10, we had a $2, we had a $2. So I think we're at like what, $7 you and I are going to split.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, just because I do have to pay for the editing suite that we're using. So
dude. It's no big deal. I mean, any amount is always warranted and welcome. We truly appreciate anything anybody helps us out with, and we're always looking for sponsors and folks to help out.
Got a $10 from Jared there.
Woo. Thanks, buddy.
Way to kick it in, Jared.
And
this
there will
not going to be one of those reciprocating in kind. I'm not going to give you. Well, I probably still will give you that $10 back. That's how it works. So you weren't in a live feed earlier. So what usually happens is Jared will send me something as a super chat, and then I'll turn around the next time he does a live feed and I'll send it back. So neither one of us are actually out any money.
Excuse me. I've been out hunting, so I'm well. Okay. Yeah. So what we do is we have a bunch of sponsors, and hopefully one day what we're working towards is every veteran that comes out on the hikes, um, all the gear that we give them to go on the hike with, they can take home with them. We're not at that point yet, but
Oh,
that's
that's
our
cool.
that way they can keep in continuing the healing process of it. Um, when they come on the hike, we have boots from Thorogood, we have socks from Fox River Mills, backpacks from Teton, sleeping pads from Teton, tents from Teton, water bladders from Teton, food from Pinnacle Food Co. out there in Missoula, Montana. We have infused hydration. We have Fiberlite fire starters that they give. We got T-shirts from Ember Shirt Co.
You
All
got
the
a
guys
$50.
get. Dude, that's
Thanks,
awesome,
Justin.
Justin.
That's
Really
awesome.
appreciate it, brother. Locations. So right now we are doing hikes in Arizona, northern Arizona right now, localized to try to get all the kinks worked out in the process because of COVID. We got pushed back pretty far in our process of getting hikers out. And Arizona is one of the best places to do that right now. We are hoping to expand to the Pacific Northwest, the Northeast, the Southwest, having this thing nationwide, and doing affiliate programs and things of that nature down the road. So we have a lot of things in the work. We're just trying to get all the small kinks out. We are full 501c3, so any and all donations are tax write-off. If you go to the bastardsroadproject.org, you can see our entire mission statement. You can see all the stuff about us. If you go on to iTunes and Amazon, you can actually download the documentary that kicks all this off, where it talks about John, and it documents John's walk across the United States. Yes, actually, the Grand Canyon is one of the places. So this is the Bastards Road Project homepage. You can go through here. You can see our sponsors. You can contact us. If you do want to get somebody entered in to go on to one of the hikes in the future, you can go to the contact us section, and you can go through all that as well. And you can nominate somebody and all that stuff if you want down there in the contact us. All of our partners, we have some amazing people. We still need to update this. We have a couple more sponsors that are not on here. Teton Sports being a big one of them. There's Fiberlite, Combat Comb Over, Burbiz Events, Ready Man, Chotch Industries. So we got Chotch Industries, Ready Man, Fiberlite, Combat Comb Over, in Burbiz, and Zero Mile Mark are all veteran-owned companies that have.
Does this make it difficult? Does it make it harder?
Is I'm a bouncy ball in a dryer, and I have that ooh shiny syndrome. So, yeah, we're just trying to help our brothers and sisters be able to have the tools needed to lessen and to be able to basically. Is there an age limit, and do you can handle diabetics? We always have a medic with us whenever we do the hikes. I don't think there's an age limit, but we do have a program that you have to complete to be eligible. So there is a workout routine, and some of these hikes are more intense than others. We are looking at doing, lower impact hikes and all that stuff. This is true. All of us veterans do have ooh shiny. That's how we stayed alive, right?
Yeah. If things don't get your attention, you get shot and hurt.
And we're always open to having suggestions and talking with anybody who wants to, help out or, come on one of the hikes. And there's always something to do with this. If you truly have veterans' best interest at heart, that's what we truly care about. We have talked with some companies and some things, and there are some folks who try to take advantage of us, who only wanted us for publicity reasons. So we just said, no, that's not our bag. And we decided to go a different route. Because at the end of the day, it's about our integrity of this program to take care of our brothers and sisters who were downrange with us. And it doesn't matter what time of year, what battle, whatever, it doesn't matter. We want to be there to help each other continue and to succeed, because that is the best thing, is to see a fellow veteran, a fellow person for that matter, achieve their dreams and to watch them grow. Because there's so many people out there.
You and I had talked about it, because majority of the PTSD I have, it does not come from combat. You and I talked about that. Mm-hmm. I was there for the support after the tsunami hit Thailand that time. And I'm like, how bad could it be? It's just water. It was a wave. And I was absolutely not ready for the death and destruction that was there. Yeah. And when I showed up, I was like, who's doing barbecue right now? And what it was is they were burning bodies because they just could not bury the bodies. Everything was too wet. There was just no way. And they were just burning bodies. And I could not go past. There was years that I could not go past. I get goosebumps thinking about it. I could not go past a barbecue place for years without wanting to break down and cry and being just physically sick because that's what my brain immediately associated that smell with. Yeah. And so, you and I talked about that. It doesn't have to necessarily be a combat related issue.
No. And that's something I don't think I've covered. So PTSD is something that encompasses so many different aspects of life and in the military. Everybody has a different lens of trauma. And we want to make sure that we can be there to help anybody that has served our country. Because as any of us know, as veterans, the VA isn't really there for us. The promise that we sign,
we're poorly equipped to handle the actual problems that veterans have. And that's one of the big things. So like I do have some combat related PTSD, but most of the stuff that I have, like I said, but it doesn't matter where it comes from. You go to the VA and that's where you're told that's where you're going to get help. And they are completely unequipped to handle
take these pills.
Yeah, here, take these. And then next thing you know, you just don't have any energy to go to work. You still have the nightmares and things like that. And then you find out, then like you said, I went through a period, you quit drinking. I went through a period where I abused alcohol heavily. And it's because we're self-medicating because what they give us isn't what we need. And then we find other ways to try and self-medicate. And it's just, it's sad that so many other, and I like to say, I was like, I did a video about it and I was really upset at the time because I just had a friend die. And I go on and I see all these people doing 22 push-ups a day. And I'm like, if you're doing 22 push-ups, you haven't done a goddamn thing. You basically put yourself on social media to make yourself look cool because you're doing 22 push-ups a day. You can shove that where the sun don't shine because it does nothing.
No. And the little bit of awareness it does raise is nice when it calls someone to action. The biggest thing I can say that if you have a veteran in your life, if you know a veteran, it doesn't matter how long ago they served or how new they served, talk to them like they're a person. Just because we served, it doesn't make us any better or any worse than anybody else out there. We are people, we have feelings, we have emotions. And that's one of the big things is that in our military culture, thank you for the support. I truly do appreciate it, Blade. Is that we are taught to repress our feelings and that you aren't supposed to be able to show emotion or be able. I couldn't even name emotions that I was feeling.
Because you don't know what you're feeling. It's just such a mismatch. Beaten out of me. Yeah.
And so you do things to make yourself numb, and to the only thing that you feel is anger or excitement. There's no in between. And then you ended up, once I first got off of active duty, just this deep hollowness that I didn't have a mission anymore, that I couldn't go down and talk to my buddies. Yeah, lack of direction. And then all of my friends that I had who I would talk to when I was in the service, and I would come home on leave and maybe get to see them. But when I got out, their lives had moved on, and I'm still this 18-year-old kid in my head who, used to go out and hang out with these guys when we were teenagers. And they're all 22, 23 years old, either just getting out of college, finishing up their first degrees, or they're 3-4 years into their career already, have a couple of kids. And here I am. I have, a very specific level of life experience that doesn't equate to the world I'm in anymore.
I was explaining this. I had a friend that got out, and he was like, I don't understand it. He's like, I was in charge of this. I did this. I had these levels of responsibility, but what we fail to realize that us in the military, emotionally, from the day we come in, that's where we stop. We're emotionally stunted. So I came in at 17, and I didn't actually start to do any maturing in my actual emotional maturing, because you don't get that. That's not something you get when you're in the military. You don't actually start maturing until after you get out. So I had done.
It's because they still treat us like children when we're.
In fact, I had done like 18 years, And I get out, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I still had that, like, I'm 47, and I still, like, I wake up in the morning and I still think like I'm 18 or 19. And it just amazes me. I wake up some mornings and I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, what the fuck happened? But
why do I have gray hair now?
Stunted. You're emotionally stunted. You can see the mirror now? Like, you're tall enough?
I got steps.
You have to stand on a box.
Well, I got a booster seat.
Like, I mean, when you go to the bathroom, like, so your wife's using the sink and she's like, oh, let me get your box.
See, I got booster seats.
You make pee-pees by yourself now?
I do. I tinkle.
Which brings me to my next question.
Oh God, another abusive question. All right, let's go. Let's get this out of the way.
Do you swing your feet when you're on the toilet?
I do, actually. It's a lot of fun.
I can't touch the floor. Because every adult male, like, you can't sit on the tailgate of a truck without swinging your feet.
No, you can't.
I don't know what it is. What is it? It doesn't matter how old you are.
No, or you see a tire swing, you're gonna go get on that tire swing.
I remember watching something like veterans are treated no different from how armaments are used and disposed. Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
so
no.
I can tell you. So they both had the same issue. So I had done just shy of 18 years, and like I had done all these things. I had all these awards. I had exemplary marks. They find out that I'm not deployable. Like, well, we can't fucking use you. You got to go.
Well, that's what happened with me.
All these other people that are getting out, usually you have this lead up. Like, okay, I know I'm getting out in like 3 years. You have a chance to start making arrangements and all these things that everybody else would do transitioning out. I had 90 days. They're like, well, you got to get all this shit done in 90 days and start your VA claim.
Yeah. No, I'm an 8th generation veteran. My father was a Vietnam veteran, and I saw the effects of neglected PTSD my entire life.
Yeah, my grandfather was a World War II vet, and I saw it too. He didn't actually start getting VA benefits. My grandfather didn't start getting VA benefits until he was well into his 60s.
Yeah,
he just didn't know it was available to him.
Yeah, and I mean, you still got guys from Vietnam who have been denied for 50 plus years any benefits. You know, and the VA system isn't there to take care of veterans. It's not. It's there to appease and to
insulate. It's to insulate the rest of society from the undesirables that we sent off, and then we weren't equipped to bring back and integrate. It's just
we remind the government what the true cost of war is.
I really hate the VA. I hate everything about it. I will have to say, I do have to say though, I retired 2009, and they have definitely made strides in the right direction, but it's still not where it needs to be. It absolutely isn't.
Yeah, no, nowhere near what it needs to be. And, you know, you try to go get help for something, you know, and they're like, oh, well, you have a 3-month wait. Well, can I go see somebody in my, you know, well, then I would like to use my Community Care Act, which, you know, is my choice, you know, which if it's past 30 days, then I get to use community care. Well, there's nobody in your immediate area for 6 months. Well, what
even something simple like they send you out a flyer. So let's talk about the coof jab. Is now the VA is offering it, and I just finally got told by my doctor that I am allowed to get the poke, because it's actually like, huh?
The Fauci ouchie.
Yeah, the Fauci ouchie. So they sent a flyer and they're like, oh, call this number to schedule. I was literally on the phone for 45 minutes, and all it did was take me to just some general pharmacy number at the local VA here in San Diego. And they're like, yeah, we don't know who to talk to. I called Balboa. Luckily, I'm retired. So being retired, I can use my TRICARE still. So I called Balboa Naval Medical Center. I'm like, look, I went through this. The doctor just told me that, yes, now I'm eligible for the Fauci ouchie. I like that. I'm going to use that. So I called him and they're like, oh no, you just walk in, you can come in. Just bring, you know, we've got your medical record here. So we'll figure out which one is the best one for you, because you have an autoimmune disorder. And I'm like, why can't the VA do that? I mean, basically it's different branches of the same office.
No, it's not, because the VA,
but the VA immunizations and pharmacy shit. No, the VA pharmacy and immunization, TRICARE, they're a joint thing. They really are. So if you call and you get a prescription through TRICARE, it's being filled by the VA.
But the folks at the Balboa are active duty that have to do their job. The VA
This is true. They're not
federal employees who just,
and most of them are Navy. So, they're at least
Um,
smart enough to.
boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time. And that everybody that works at the VA, I have never had a pleasant person that I've ever dealt with at the VA. Not like, even if I go in trying to butter the bread and be as honey as possible, it just.
X-ray technicians. The X-ray technicians have always been nice. That's it. Like, that's all I got. I got nothing.
Maybe down in California, but up here in the Pacific Northwest, they're just terrible.
Well, it's because they're all ugly chicks that couldn't be strippers. And they're unpleasant because it's cold.
Isn't that cheetahs?
We went to Astoria, Washington one time. Okay, so you ready for this?
No.
You know where I'm talking about. You know where Astoria is, right?
Leave the sea captain daughter out of this.
No. This is different. So we go up there because there were ships pulling in for Fleet Week. We get up a couple days early to set up. We get there. There's one strip bar in Astoria, Washington. If you guys don't know, the movie The Goonies was filmed in Astoria. Yeah. So we went, we saw the Goonies house, and there's one strip bar.
It's true,
and I have never seen strippers that ugly in my life. Like, it was the trinity of fucking ugly stripper. Like, we're talking cigarette burns, gunshot wounds, and cesarean section scars. That's what they are. Like, my buddy left with the cook. That's what I picture. That's what I picture all your VA workers looking like. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true. That's fact. That's very factual.
He's like, yeah, you got it. It's actually accurate.
Nail, head, bam, you got it. The kind with colored hair too. Yeah, but not like quality dyed hair. I mean, we're talking like Kool-Aid packets in middle school.
I was getting ready to say, like, they did it with Kool-Aid. That's okay. So that's where we're at. I was gonna say,
a
David,
dirty story.
We don't want to get it too dirty. So I have the final question.
Okay.
And then David, I was gonna say, I want David to tell a story, and we'll do a couple stories, and you guys can stick around as long as you want. I'm plugged into the. I want you guys to know I have an extension cord plugged into the outlet on my ceiling that's running down to plug my camera or my computer in. And I'm not joking. I will post a picture of this setup. You're literally on milk crates and wood.
Okay, so all right.
Final question. Here's your final question.
Final question.
You get 2 abusive questions in a row, back to back.
Okay, 2 abusive.
Last question. How embarrassed is your wife to go out in public with you?
Not at all.
Okay, so so you must be better than me, because my wife hates being around me because I do things intentionally to embarrass.
Well, I do things intentionally, but she has a great sense of humor. So
freedom isn't free.
No, that's 110%. But the fact of the matter is that the government and politicians don't want to, see us and acknowledge, our injuries and the true cost of what our nation is guys like me, guys like Mike and Justin and John and I don't know any of the other, if there are any other veterans in this chat group, but every single one of us, my father, my grandfather's brother, and my uncles and great family members and neighbors and everybody around that is a veteran. We have all, in some way or another, since we have a purely volunteer force, we say that we will do this term of service for compensation, and that compensation is that they promise to take care of us after if we accrue any type of injuries, both physically and mentally, during our term of service. But even though we are 1% of our entire nation, they still don't think we're worth the money to actually truly take care of us in the fashion that it needs to be. And that's why there are programs like the Bastards Road Project that are so vital to veteran survival, for lack of a better term.
To put it in perspective, I was in E6. I did just shy of 18 years. I got medically retired. I get 40% of my high 3, and it won't even pay my rent. That's what I get for 18 years, several shoulder surgeries, mental. I mean, the only reason that my wife is still with me is because she's a very patient woman. I have anger issues. I have been diagnosed with explosive rage disorder that comes from a head trauma, because when you get a head trauma, not only does it affect that's part of what's wrong with my hearing, it also affects the center of the brain, really famous for affecting the center of the brain that controls emotion. I get so mad like that. And usually it's a flash and it's gone. Mm-hmm. But if it was any other woman, I would not be married right now. And it's those things that they just want to overlook. And then the general public looks at you and is like, well, why can't you just get over it?
Just get over it. That's the worst thing you can say.
They have no idea the things that guys like David and myself and other veterans, they have no idea what we've actually seen. The things that when I wake up in the middle of the night and it's 2:00 in the morning and I've yanked the sheets off the bed and I'm fighting with my CPAP mask and I'm sweating and my wife was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yep, I'm going to go downstairs and watch TV because I'm not trying to sleep anymore tonight." Yeah. And then for your wife to ask you, "Well, what do you dream about?" And I was like, you don't even want to that. So,
yeah. And the VA sliding scale for compensation is so asinine.
It's like trying to figure out the terms of service on YouTube.
Well, at least there's not a sliding scale for that one.
Slide them scale all over the place. It's weird.
Yeah.
10% plus 10% doesn't equal 10%. Sometimes it equals 5. You're like, wait.
I went in for when I first got off of active duty from the Marine Corps before I went to the Army. I had 12 10% ratings. I got 30%.
I started at 80%, then they dropped me to 60, and now I'm at 40, and I'm fighting to try and get back to at least 80%.
Did I give you my my VA lawyers?
Yeah, so he sent me some stuff, and I've got to get back to him because he sent me some forms, and then my email crashed.
So if you're a veteran and you're on the West Coast or anywhere in the U.S., Todd S. Hammond.
I'll put it in the description.
He's an Air Force veteran. He worked for the VA, and he used to work for Social Security. He is one of the best. I had to get a lawyer because the VA was like, well, no. And I was like, no, yes, here's all my evidence. And they're like, no. So actually, I had to go get a lawyer and fight to get everything because I was medically retired due to service-connected injuries. Yeah. I mean, if governments were rated on how they treat their veterans,
we don't even get into that. We don't even want to get into that. I mean, between you've seen the way that you've been at a joint base. You've seen the way that the Aussies and the Brits eat.
Oh, dude.
Oh my God, it's so good. Like I was standing there and I'm watching and I'm eating and I'm like, they won't even go to the DFAC. They will eat their MREs because their fucking MREs are so good that they're like, that's
get brandy. They get little brandy bottles in their MREs.
Yeah. Like the
Ukrainians had better MREs than us.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say some of those Eastern European MREs were bomb.
Amazing. The pierogi ones. Oh, I'd shank somebody for a pierogi MRE again.
Don't lie. You take a shot in the mouth for it. Oh, I'm sorry. He's not lying.
I mean, a pierogi is a pierogi.
$20.
Did I send you that link for the pierogi taco?
No, but I kind of want it now.
Dude, so okay.
We went through all my questions.
Yeah, we've got. Well, actually, I was supposed to tell a dirty.
Yeah,
story.
We got time. We don't have to end this anytime soon. We got 13 people here.
Okay, so let me think of one that's decent.
But it's not. We've done some cursing. I'm afraid they're going to demonetize this so I won't get any ad revenue.
We've done a little bit. We haven't done a lot.
It's been a long one, but they shut the other one down that I did the other day.
Okay.
You can tell it dirty, but just try to do it dirty do it clean.
A clean way.
Yeah, do it Bill Cosby dirty. Well, I know that's not a good one to say.
Too soon?
But you remember back in the day when Bill Cosby would tell a dirty story without telling it dirty? That's what I was getting.
Bonus points if it involves a chicken wing. Actually, I mean, there was a buddy of mine, when we were doing in Thailand, he ripped a chicken's head off with his hand. But that's not really a dirty story. That's just...
It's gotta be funny, David. You're not good.
Well, there's one where I got paid to be a stripper in Okinawa, Japan.
Naha at the stage.
Shangri-La.
Oh yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah, the mama-san there, she took quite the liking to me, and as long as I went in and stripped for her, I got to have free drinks. So
you are a dirty, dirty little man. I dig it.
I'm only human, Mike. I'm only human.
Barely. I don't know. I wouldn't go too far. So you guys, I was talking about the stage so that you guys know, just so if you...
The banana show?
No. The Naha, the stage, that was the one where if you went in, they would ask for volunteers. You'd go up and do the deed with one of the incredibly attractive Brazilian chicks on stage.
Yeah. No.
And so...
that's just Thailand, right?
No, it's Okinawa.
This is Okinawa.
So they had this place called The Stage, and you would go in, and they would have live dirty deed acts on stage, and they were all these beautiful Brazilian, you know what I'm talking about now, right? Mm-hmm. Beautiful Brazilian and South American women, and they would be like, anyone in the audience? And my friends would be like, just like new guys would be like, get out of the way because Mike's going on stage. And I'm like, what? And he goes, because if you could perform, if you come up on stage, perform on stage with everybody watching, you got a 30-minute short time upstairs with the girl of your choice. And so we'd go there, and guys were like, no one's going to do that. And I'm like, you better get out of Mike's way. He's getting undressed already. I'm like, waiting. I'm like, they're going to ask for a volunteer.
Let's see. What's another fun
place, dude. I like Shangri-La. BC Street right outside of Medina. That was a good spot.
Yeah.
So you
Club East Coast, the Bulls of Mojo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You gotta be careful with Kinville, Gate 2 Street.
Yeah. I was
we had a guy get a tattoo there, and he got a horrible staph infection.
How many new young Marines did you take out to BC Street for the banana show? We don't have to get into what the banana show is. We'll just let that marinate in their brains. I'm sure they'll figure it out.
I never went. Because
you went with the dirty worst. You're a pogue. There's no way.
Oh no, I never went to it because my dad told me about it. My brother told me about it. My uncles told me about it.
Sorry excuse for a dirty worst Marine.
And because see, at that point in time, I was happier going down to That's just the spiciest story right now.
I the first time I ever got pepper sprayed, no one told me.
I've been a TJ. I've been a TJ a couple of times. That's how I found out. I remembered enough Spanish from high school to get back across the border.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Tu gato con los pantalones o fuego? Where's the library? Because there's a cat in my pants and I'm on fire.
I won't even go to TJ. Like I don't need to.
I won't go there anymore.
I mean, I'm like right here. I now live 2 exits. Yeah, I literally live 1 exit from the actual border crossing.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of.
There's so many things. So Okinawa was just a hotbed of weird things to happen. Like
there was God, one of the guys in my unit like kidnapped one of the MPs one time. Un poquito de español. My Spanish is poor now than it used to be.
Your Spanish is unemployed? Is that what you said?
It's poorer than it used to be. I used to speak decent Spanish when I was down in California. And then the Red District.
I have room for 2 languages in this brain. I took French in high school when I started speaking Japanese.
Un de flores de papier.
And then when I would try to speak Spanish, I would throw Japanese in. So I realized there's only enough room in this brain for 2 languages. So I had to forget French to learn Japanese.
I tried when I was in Okinawa to learn Japanese, but they just kept laughing at me, so I quit trying.
I was there for 13 years. I really didn't have a choice.
Yeah, and then I learned Arabic pretty well when I was over in Iraq. Pashtun and Farsi.
I have the Farsi guide sheet that they get. You remember the Farsi, the fold out, the hard plastic guide sheet they gave you, or the laminated paper guide sheet for Farsi?
My favorite, the one that I remember using was don't move, don't speak, or I'll set you on fire.
Munyak, you coward. That'll get a rise out of them.
Go inside, there's danger. Where are the weapons? Imshila.
Hurry up.
No, it's Imshi.
Imshi, Munyak. Hurry up, you coward.
Imshila is it's God's will.
I can't. You're breaking up. That's why I couldn't hear exactly what you're saying.
No.
I mean, I'm getting the shitty connection notification.
But other than that, no. I mean, God, I'm trying to think of like a story that I can tell that's not admissible as evidence.
Something is not going to get me arrested when someone.
So beer pong was really big when we got back from Iraq in 2007.
That's about right.
So beer pong was taken off everywhere, and so we had built this collapsible beer pong table, and we stored it underneath our racks during room inspections. Like we put it up against the top and strap it in and all that stuff. And I remember we would move it around so they couldn't find it. So we would pull it out, on Friday and have it set up in the smoke pit, and we'd be throwing beer pong and all that stuff. And
ours was a cornhole. We didn't have beer pong, so when I was downrange, we had a cornhole, and the guys would sneak. The guys would get liquor shipped to them, and we'd sneak it.
Oh, in the Listerine bottles, and
in the Listerine bottles, or in we had one that got sent in a.
Oh yeah, I saw tons of camel spiders and tarantula. I ate tarantula in Philippines and Thailand.
We had a guy that got his family sent him a piñata, and instead of being loaded with candy, like there was a box with a piñata in it, and so no one thought anything of it. And we got it. We opened up the piñata. It was just full. It was full of like the airline bottles. Yeah, and it was just. And I mean, when I say it was full, I mean there was like 6 full bottles of liquor in there. It was one of those big.
Jesus.
It was those big. SpongeBob shaped piñatas, and we're like, a piñata? What kind of bullshit mail call is this, Davis? And he's like, no, just wait. He's like, and so everybody left, and we opened it up, and he's like, just pulling out they had stacked them in there, and so bottoms, tops, so that they could jam them in so it wouldn't rattle. And I was like, that's a heavy ass piñata, and we opened it up, dude. It was so full of liquor. And we got
my sister sent me
so much trouble.
My sister sent me some cookies one time. Oh, I got a couple of good boot camp stories too.
He's not good at this, Justin. He's not.
And well, I mean, when I'm not being recorded, I'll tell stories for days.
I tell stories on here all the time.
Yeah, but mine, I think there's
I may have participated in the burning down of a Kentucky Fried Chicken in Hokkaido, Japan, and I told that story on here. I can neither confirm nor deny, but when I say we burned it down, I don't mean we, but I mean when it happened. Like the only thing with the fire department, like when the fire department showed up, they couldn't put the fire out. The only thing they did was hose down the adjacent buildings, so they didn't get involved.
Put water on.
So, I mean, can I bring a third person in on a live? Yes, I can. Would you like me to invite you, Justin?
Oh God, this is going to be terrible.
Justin, I need you to text me your Gmail address.
Oh, well, I mean, when we were in Iraq, we got tired of having T-rats all the time. So we were down in Wadi Sakran South there in northern Iraq. And we saw this goat herder walking by. And I get on the mic and like, hey, who has money? think we got about 25 American dollars together, and I went over in my broken Arabic and bartered to buy a goat, and I got a decent, good healthy one, and bring it back over. And my gunny's like, "Why do you guys have a goat?" And I said, "We're gonna cook it." And my gunny just looks at me. He's like, "You backwoods hillbilly son of a! What do you mean you're gonna cook it?" I'm like, "Well, we're gonna shoot it. We're gonna skin it out, and we're gonna get back, and we're gonna make a barbecue." So that's exactly what we did. We killed it. We butchered it up, put it the quarters into some bags, took it back to Cop Ellis now. Actually, I don't even know if it's still there. They're outside of Barwana. Went down to the cookie station. Got some ketchup and some spices and a little bit of honey and stuff to make a rudimentary barbecue sauce. And we rubbed down the meat with salt and pepper and put it over a little, we took a Hesco barrier and we cut the chain links off, and we made a little, we took pallets and we're using pine from the pallets and made a little charcoal bed.
Oh, that tasted terrible.
Put the grill over the top of it and just in the middle of Iraq, just cooking goat. Oh man, that was
probably better than any.
Oh, dude, it was delicious. And then, oh yeah, dude, it was phenomenal. And then, yeah, we people come by and we give them a little bit of goat and everything. It was great for morale. Actually, we got in trouble because we did a raid on one of the islands out there, and we found a human skull. And somebody in the team took the jawbone from it and made it our door knocker on the EOD tent.
That is kind of amazing, to tell you the truth. Like that,
so we had a jawbone for a door knocker for a little while. That's probably a war crime. But that was taken.
War crimes. I mean, come on.
It was during the surge.
Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize, and look at the shit he did. All you had was a door knocker.
No politics.
I didn't mention anything specific. I'm just saying. Not saying, just saying. Know what I'm saying?
And then let's see. We found some World War II grease guns that we had hanging up in our tent. Being with the EOD team, we had our call sign was Troublemaker, and we lived up to it. Let me just say that.
Justin's probably going to join us here shortly.
Oh, this will be fun. This
is going to be interesting. You guys are going to love Justin. Justin's another star head.
He's awesome.
Like I said, short words. Small. If you use a big word, I can probably translate for him. It's what us Navy guys do best.
We were in Okinawa, Japan. We were attached to 2nd Recon out there. I think it's 2nd Recon in Okinawa. As their trailer platoon for 1st platoon. And how'd you find some grease guns? So it was a weapons cache. So we found Mosin Nagants. We found some things I don't think I can still talk about. I think there's still some stuff that's on the
what can I talk about? Yeah, I think we'll leave that one be.
Yeah, right. Like, oh god, we found that thing. We found this thing. We found that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that they didn't tell the general public that we found. Oh yeah, tons of weird armaments. We found Iranian chemical grenades. So that was a fun day. I'm going through a barrel down on the Euphrates bank, this big blue giant 55-gallon drum. And, going through and cataloging it, we made sure it wasn't booby trapped, and pull out this little plastic pill looking thing. And I look over at my gunny and I'm like, "Hey, gunny, what's this?" He goes, "Stay still. Gas, gas, gas." I'm like, "Mother." And it turned out to be an Iranian chemical grenade, which wasn't primed or anything, thank God, and was stable still. Still have no idea what chemical was inside it to this day. So yeah, they did have that type of stuff there. I don't know if I was allowed to talk about that or not. Well, if I get a knock on the door, I'll find out if I was supposed to say that one or not. I have no idea where Mike went.
I had to make a phone call. I had to make sure that, Justin's a Marine. He's a smart dude, but I had to make sure that he didn't get lost. He's like, I don't know how to do this. I'm like, I'll walk you through this. So he's
technologically impaired. It's for
how look at the size of his head. Oh, he can hear me. He can hear me now. How can he have a head that big with very little things going on in it? This is Justin. Justin's the owner of Fiberlite Fire Starter and Ember Shirt Co. Welcome, Justin.
What's up, brother?
Hold on, I can't hear anything.
Oh, good. We can still talk shit.
All right, I got it.
There's a volume. There's a button, and
I got it.
You have a little speaker, big
Thanks,
speaker.
baby. I appreciate it.
Do you have your reading glasses on? You got this?
These are my all the time glasses, not just reading glasses.
Those are my I need to see shit glasses.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, you gotta go get LASIK, brother. It's amazing.
I can. No joke. I have better than 20/20 vision at distance. If you guys watch some of my live feeds now, you'll be like, "Why is Mike wearing glasses?" Because Mike can't see shit up close anymore. Because Mike's 47, and Mike's eyes are like, "Yeah, your arms aren't long enough to read that." I honestly, to sharpen knives, like I can do the not look and I can hear it, but like to take a look and make sure there's no like scratches on the edge and check the scratch pattern to make sure I got all of it, I have to wear reading glasses. I can't see the edges anymore. I'm like this, I'm like looking at a knife. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Why can't I see that shit?
Dude, how many people are still on this thing?
There's 12. There's 12.
Hey, these are some lucky people that they stuck around.
Yeah.
This is about to get super fun.
I gotta get a beer for this. I don't think I'm quite ready.
I had to go in the other room. My family's out there. My kids don't need to hear some of these stories.
Well, anyways, let me so real quick to finish off the ninth comm story. So we're sitting there with our recon trailer team that we were there with, and all of a sudden we look over and they're at Camp Hansen is where ninth comm, or what they call ninth crime, was stationed. And
that's where the hospital was. That's where I had my first. Let's get this ankle back in place incident. Like, hey, so this guy dislocated his hip and his knee. Let's fix this.
The enlisted club there is called the Palms, and so we go there and they have this little outdoor patio, and we're all sitting there. There's an upper level and a lower level. We're on the upper level. Well, next thing we know, this flood of 9th Comm Marines just comes over this little barrier. A light turns off. We hear a smack, and we hear somebody around us go, ugh! And the light turns on. There's a broken beer bottle. Recon Doc is holding his head. There's blood coming down. There's a 9th Comm guy with a broken beer bottle going, "What's up, motherfuckers?" And that was not the best move on their part, because not only was their second recon there, they had us as their trailers, and we just bum rushed these guys. We outnumbered them 3-1, and we're just tossing bodies. And we wreck the patio there at the Palms. MPs get called. Everybody.
In your defense, the patio at the Palms was already pretty wrecked most of the time.
Wrecked. Yeah.
I was like, it was pre-wrecked.
It was always in a state of disarray. And then 9th Comm was banned from drinking or being at the Palms for the rest of the time that 2-4 was there.
All right, Justin, I got to hear one of your stories.
All right.
Because he's like, wait. So are you telling me that I should not have marked this feed safe for children?
No, this is all going to be good.
No, I'm kidding. I don't make any content for children.
There's that Jaguar dealership.
Yeah. No, this one's one of my favorite boot camp stories, man. The level of dumbass that some people could enter into is something like I never imagined, right? So a lot of people don't know, but in
I got one for that, Aiden.
In Marine Corps boot camp on the San Diego side, I can't speak for the East Coast side, but you're in MCRD, which is
But it's just right there at the airport.
It's right, downtown.
Yeah.
The fence, is the other side of the fence is the airport. It's not on Camp
watching
Pendleton.
one of the Freedom Birds. I dare you.
Yeah, don't look at the airplanes because you'll end up chasing them for the next hour. Don't look at the freaking the soul pigeons, right? Because if you look at the crows, you'll have to chase one until you catch one. So don't do that. But
You're not gonna catch one.
But so we're not even on Camp Pendleton. We're not even on like a Marine Corps base, except for, what is it, Dave? Is it a month? Is it 3 weeks?
Yeah, we have well, it just depends on what time you went there. So Marine Corps basic training has been revamped a couple of times in the last 20 years. So when
I'm just saying, how long do you go up north for?
It's anywhere between 3 weeks to 5.
Yeah, I can't remember.
The combat skills.
Yeah, that's
like,
where we do all the rifle call and
Yeah.
the crucible and all the field exercises and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
you go up north is what we call it.
Yeah.
And so you leave MCRD in San Diego and you take a bus up to Camp Pendleton. You just relocate for a month. And that is, when I was there, that was the time that we had earned the right to have a high and tight. And because before that, you didn't earn it. You just shaved that shit. Yeah. So,
and you just get to actually unbutton your top button finally. Start looking like a real.
When I was first there for the first month, we had to actually tuck in our blouses into our camis, and we had to pull the excess part of the blouse out the front of our pants, like our zipper. I mean, there's no zipper there, right? But
the button fly.
Yeah, the button fly. We had to pull our blouse out of the button fly, so everyone was walking around with the freaking blouse sticking out like this far, like a big old Johnson, out of their camis. But anyway,
we always called them booter butterflies because it was the two pieces of the thing, and they'd get separated. We were always when we would go to MCRD, as you know, I was already E6, and we were like, oh look, the booter butterflies that got there.
Yeah. So anyway, we get up north and we get our first haircut. Where we got a high and tight. We've got the tiniest bit of hair on top. I mean, we just got our head shaved like 2 weeks prior. So you just got a tiny bit of hair on top. And we had these 3 cousins. We didn't know that they were even related the entire time. But they were cousins. They were Hispanic dudes, and they were all in my platoon. And when you're on MCRD, the PX is a recruit PX. Like, there's nothing in there that you can buy that you're not supposed to have, right? But when you go up north to Camp Pendleton, you're in a real PX. They just have like this back area blocked off that has all the recruit stuff in it. And we were given a shopping list of what we had to go in and buy because we had to buy supplies for the squad bay and stuff like that.
Yeah, whoever says that the military provides you everything doesn't understand we have to pay for all of our own crap. Yeah,
we bought the soap for the mop bucket. We bought it all. But
the bulldog and the cobra.
these three
toilet paper in your barracks room.
Yep.
These 3 dudes, they were cousins. They were Hispanic guys, and somehow they freaking bought 3 flowers, hair grease. I don't know, bro. But they were determined because now they got a little bit of hair on there. They wanted to grease their hair, and they bought this freaking 3 flowers hair grease. And I remember they came back to platoon. They're like, "Oh, dude, we got the 3 flowers," and we're like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you gonna do with that?" So every night in boot camp, you have like an hour. I don't even remember how long it was, but yeah, like about an hour. You shit, shower, shave. Get all of your stuff ready for the next day. And the whole time you're doing that, the drill instructors are in their DI hut. Like, they leave us alone for that time. And but then when it's all over, we have to all stand on line in our underwear, and we get inspected.
Evening hygiene inspection.
I was going to say, you get hygiene inspection.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just standard with any boot camp. Like Navy was the same way. Yeah.
So you stand there in your underwear, and it's like a dance, right? Like, it happens the same every single night. Like, snap, pop, and you say your name, rank, and where you're from, and if you have any personal problems, and they freaking check your hands, check your ears, and it's a dance, right? There's moves to this thing. We've been doing it for months now, so it's just a regular thing. We just get it done with. And I
know where this is going already,
bro. This is so bad. So I was like halfway down the first line. The first guy with the 3 flowers in his hair, because they took a shower, they put the 3 flowers in their hair. And we're like, bro, you're going to get us all killed. We are all going to die tonight. And they were just determined to have this shit in their hair, right?
Yeah,
so
get yours pushed in.
The DI is going to punch fuck us with a broken beer bottle.
Dude. So then drill instructor gets down the line, and he gets to the first guy that has the freaking stuff in his hair. Everything goes off smooth. Drill instructor, like, boom. And you can't look, right? You're just standing there in parade rest, but you're just looking forward.
Is the funniest place where you are not allowed to laugh.
Oh, yeah. No, you can't laugh. So
don't you eyeball me.
So freaking the drill instructor passes that guy, and we're like, oh, sweet. Like, maybe we'll get through this. And he finishes that line, goes across, and starts the next line. And like the third guy in is the next guy that has this stuff in his hair. I swear to God, dude. And we all knew it happened.
I don't want to have a mouthful of beer. I do not want to have a mouthful of beer when this happens.
No. This dude, because like I tell you, it's a routine. Everything that he says is exactly the same. It's a freaking routine. So he's going through the routine, snap, recruit so-and-so, blah, 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 say, wherever he's from, pop. And the freaking drill instructor is supposed to say something. He doesn't say anything. It gets quiet. And all of us, I remember staring at the guy across from me, and we just looked at each other and we're like, oh, shit, here. Oh, damn.
Eyes get real big, like, oh,
yeah.
No, we're dead.
Dude, I got it. Hold on. Hold on.
Where'd he go?
Don't know. Oh, God. Are we acting this out? Oh,
no.
Dude,
imagine
this. Imagine this is the guy's head, right? Drill instructor grabs his head and goes like this. And he's rubbing his face. He's rubbing his face all over the guy's hair. Like, he's rubbing the guy's hair in his own face. And he's sniffing. He's like taking the biggest sniffs. He's like, what is that? What is that? And he's like just rubbing this dude's oily ass hair all over his own face. And he just kept saying, what is that? What is that? And then he did that for like 5 minutes. And then he stopped, and he had oil all over his own face. And then he just kept going like nothing happened. He finished that guy, went to the next guy, and just continued on like nothing happened. And we're all like, oh, shit. Like, this is bad. And then like 6 guys later was the next guy. And now he's checking everybody's hair along the way. He comes into the next side. We lost Dave. Dave's having
okay.
Flashbacks. Oh, okay.
What'd you do, dummy? You touched something. Don't you know in the Marine Corps, if you don't know what it does, don't touch it. That's why you weren't allowed to touch Pecker.
So then he's checking everybody's hair. He gets to the third guy that has his stuff in his hair, and he does the same exact thing. He rubs the dude's face all inside of his face, and he's like sniffing, and he's like, "What is that? What is that?" And
every drill instructor has a version of that frog voice.
Yeah, dude, that's the classic drill instructor voice. You don't know what it is unless you've been to boot camp, in Marine Corps boot camp. But
or no Marines.
Yeah, or no Marines. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, same thing. He does that for a while, and then he stops, and he just continues on like nothing happened. But then when he finished that guy, instead of continuing to the next guy, he about-faced. He came into the middle of the squad bay, and he's like, "Anybody else have this shit in their freaking hair? Step off line right now." And nobody moved. And he's like, "I swear to God, I'm coming back down the line. Anybody else have this in their hair? Just step out of the line right now." And finally, the guy down the line, he stepped out and he said, "This recruit has it in his hair, sir," or whatever. The drill instructor takes off running, and he runs right through the dude. The guy flips over backwards over his freaking his footlocker. He busts his head on the freaking bunk or on the rack, and then he stands him up, and he starts doing the same thing to this guy's freaking head. And this drill instructor has freaking hair grease like up his nose, all over his face. He was a black drill instructor, so he was like super shiny now. His whole face. And he's got this freaking 3 flowers all over his own face. And then, you know, a lot of people don't know it, but the reality is that, like Mothers of America changed a lot of things at boot camp. And so they actually have to put us to bed every night. You know, they can't keep us awake all night long anymore, stuff like that. So the time came, reveille sounded, and we had to go to bed. So we went to bed. But then the drill instructor walked up and down the squad bay talking about how in the morning he was going to kill everybody. So we're like,
good night story
in the morning, I'm going to end your life.
Yeah, every single one of you is going to die.
So we were like, this sucks. So then everyone tries to sleep that night at about like, what time did we wake up, Dave? Do you remember? Like, was it 4:30?
So it was like Grevely is 05:30.
Okay.
And you had to be dressed and ready to go at 5:30. So usually we would wake up at like 04:45 or 5.
Yeah, whatever it was, like 2 hours before we got out of the rack. So like at 2:30 in the morning, the drill instructor, again, a big, like giant black dude, he starts walking up and down the middle of the squad base singing one of the current songs that was on the radio. I will never forget this song till the day I die. It was Outkast, Fresh and So Clean. And he said, dude, I got to do it. He's like, ain't nobody fresh as me. I'm just so fresh and clean. And he's singing this freaking song, dude, up and down the squad bay for 2 hours. And I'm just like, we're all
my eyes are laughing so hard.
dude, we're all awake. We're all freaked out. We don't know what's gonna happen. So then finally we get out of bed.
It's gotta be creepy. Like you're like, what is he gonna do? Like now he's singing. Like we broke his brain and he's going to kill us.
Yeah, and it's pitch dark in there, and he's walking up and down the middle, like marching and shit, like about facing and like marching, and he's like singing "Fresh and So Clean" from Outkast. So then in the morning time we wake up and dude, this is what he says. He says, everybody get dressed. Because in the Marine Corps boot camp, you get dressed by the numbers. You don't just get dressed. They tell you, put on your freaking pants.
Put on your socks.
They count it down. And they tell you, put on your shirt. And they count it down. Yeah, put your socks on, they count it down. Well, this morning, drill instructor says, everybody, just get dressed. Except my Fresh and So Clean boys. And so we're all getting dressed, and he pulls those guys up front. He starts ITing them, like working them out
on the quarter
deck.
Then,
on the quarter deck. And then
do push-ups until I get tired.
Yeah. And then he calls for the guide. The guide runs over there. He's like, guide, give me a Kevlar helmet. So the guide runs to the back wall, grabs a Kevlar helmet, brings it back up front. He's like, go outside and fill up the Kevlar helmet with dirt out of the pit. It's like, all right. So he runs downstairs, fills it up with dirt out of the pit. In the meantime, he tells the 3 Fresh and So Clean guys to go to their footlocker and bring him the stuff. Like, so they all bring their full canisters of, it's like a combat comb over canister.
Okay, so for those who don't know Camp Pendleton, now the barracks we go to up north, there is what we call the island hopping campaign. When the DIs just want to smoke the hell out of you, it's these sand pits all the way around, but it's not like that pleasant beach sand.
No,
it's
nasty,
hellish pumice, angry sand.
And it's dirty too, because everyone spits in it and bleeds in it, and throws up in it, pisses in
it. Yeah, I've seen Marines throwing up into. I know exactly what you're talking. It's nasty up there.
And so they grab their
and spitting in it.
It's terrible.
They grab their cans of 3 Flowers hair grease, and bring them up to the front. He makes them open up the can and take out all of the hair grease inside the can and put it in their hand. And he's inspecting the can to make sure there's no extra hair grease left in the can.
You better get it all.
Yeah. So they all three of them have a full handful of hair grease, and he made them put it in their hair because they wanted this stuff in their hair, and they don't even have any hair. Okay. The thickness of the hair grease off of their skull is taller than their hair is. Like they've got a hair grease helmet. And then he makes them all hold out their hands like this, and he fills their hands with the dirt from the pit.
Oh.
And then he made them put the dirt in their hair and mix it in. So now they've got a mud hair grease helmet. It's like a solid helmet of hair grease and mud.
Oh, that's terrible.
And it's in the morning time, so it's still pretty cool. So this stuff is still solid. And then we end up going to Chow, but he will not allow these guys to wear their covers. So they're freaking marching outside with no cover on.
And for those who don't understand, any DI that sees a recruit out of uniform, any DI is what we call a shark attack.
Yep.
It's no good. Every single drill instructor will be coming left, right, center, and some coming out from the ground.
Yeah, the barracks are 3 stories tall, and dude, I swear to God, we were marching down the street, and you would see a drill instructor like see this recruit with no cover on, and he would just start screaming just like this. It'd be like, ah, and he would be running down the freaking stairwell screaming, ah, the whole time down the freaking stairwell, and then just take off running, and he'd just run right through our platoon and run the dude with no cover, like blow him up, dude, just like freaking hit him super hard. These guys got freaking tortured all day because they weren't allowed to wear a cover all day. And then as the sun came out and the temperature started going up, they had freaking greasy mud just dripping down their face. Their whole front of their blouse was freaking just like a slick freaking oily mess, dude.
And you only get to do laundry once a week.
Yeah, I was going to say they had to wear that crap for like at a minimum like 3 days. It
was so bad. It's probably the worst thing I ever saw. The other thing that was crazy is we had a guy piss his bed every single night for like the first month and a half. He peed his bed every single night. So then we had to Firewatch
kick him out.
Firewatch had to wake him up every hour and have him go to the bathroom. And then if he didn't want to get out of bed, then they had to wake the drill instructor up, and the drill instructor would make him go to the bathroom. So that was kind of crazy.
We had a kid, name was Clar. I'll never forget Clar as long as I live. He was from Louisiana, right? Had one of them deep Creole accents. And this kid, I don't think there was a dentist within 200 miles of this bayou town that this kid grew up in. Kid was a sweetheart, but his teeth were so messed. I remember our first initial hygiene inspection, and drill instructor Sergeant Madrid. Every Marine remembers his drill instructors. If you do, it's just something that's burned into your brain cells. Madrid, I remember the first time we were coming by, he's like, all right, say ah. He goes, ah. He goes, what the? Your mother giving you an obsidian binky to suck on? What the? Is your father Jaws? What the? And like this kid's teeth, like were just terrible. Like you're talking like a cat 4 teeth dental. And so Clar's job until he went to dental to get his teeth fixed, he was the I forgot what they called him, like the house shark or something, because you have the house mouse, you have the house hippo, you have the house scribe, all of these little jobs for us recruits to do, right? His job was whenever you yelled spy on deck, that's when another drill instructor or another recruit from another platoon or just somebody who wasn't a part of your platoon came into your squad bay. Everybody's job was to yell spy on deck. And Clar's job, it didn't matter what he was doing, was to drop it and run at the guy going, and it was you felt so bad for the kid, but it was just so damn funny. Then we had another kid, Cheng. I'll never forget Cheng as long as I live. Barely spoke all, like the only English I think this kid knew was yes, sir, no, sir, aye, sir. Were the only 3 phrases this kid knew, and he was from Korea. And he was on like his 3rd recycle with us. So if you don't know, a recycle is he got dropped to the next iteration behind him, and that happened to him 3 times. So he'd been at boot camp for almost a year.
That's a long time to be in boot camp. I think
Marine Corps boot camp for almost a year.
I think I'd have tried to call it quits.
But the kid finally graduated. He didn't graduate with us. He got dropped again, but he graduated the one after us, from what we heard anyway. And then we had so what's this with this status? Why is this? It's super late. Oh God. Well, Jim, it started off as us talking about the Bastards Road project, which is a veteran.
You're gonna have to go back and watch the beginning.
Yeah. And then it just kind of turned into a fun little talk.
Story time.
Yeah,
bro. So you had your drill instructor. You had your guy with the screwed up teeth. I'm not going to tell you a boot camp story. I'm going to tell you something that happened when I was already in E6. So I was acting chief master at arms. So I was basically the ship's sheriff. Our chief master at arms had gotten in trouble. I'm actually the one that issued. I did his breathalyzer on his duty day where he blew, and he had threatened one of the young ladies on the ship that he was going to, if she did not have sex with him, he was going to do a health and comfort inspection and find something. And she reported it to the command duty officer, and the command duty officer came and got me. He goes, Petty Officer Emler, you're a qualified duty master at arms, right? And I was like, yeah. He goes, you know how to use the breathalyzer? I'm like, yeah. He goes, and he's come up to the ward room, and I come up, and there's the MAC. And I was like, oh, and I like this guy. And he's like, and so I'm sitting there, and the most awkward thing was he's like, you remember how to clear it and how to say? I was like, yes, Chief, I remember how to use the breathalyzer. Please don't make this any more awkward than it is, because I'm about to end your naval career right now, because I could just smell the alcohol. He was trashed. Dude blew a .25 at 9:45 in the morning on a duty day. Yeah. So at any rate, so I wound up being the chief master at arms of the boat for a while. And so I kept getting these reports. The female sailors kept coming up like, someone keeps taking a dump in the showers. And I'm like, what? And like, someone keeps taking a dump in the showers. And I'm like, that's disgusting. That doesn't even happen in the male berthing with the engineers.
Those are some.
And if you guys don't know, female berthing, like everybody's like on a ship, you have the berthings and everybody lives in these spaces. You would think that like engineers are dirty, sweaty animals anyway. You'd think that's the worst berthing. No, female berthing's the worst. So to put it in perspective, I'll tell you another story about female berthing after. But so like I go down and they're like, yeah, you need. So I have to come down and I got to document it and I got to make a report because it's a health and comfort issue. It's definitely a hygiene issue.
Document the poo.
Someone is taking a crap in the shower. And this went on. Like these girls would come up and we were underway and they're like, guns, someone keeps taking a crap in the showers. And I was like, I really am curious at this point where this person came from. Like, and I'm like thinking all the females on the ship. I was like, which one of them came from the backwoods of Kentucky where you didn't have running water? You just took a crap wherever. And I'm like, I don't get it. So one night,
Which one of you is a waffle stomping SOB?
I'm in the sheriff's shack, which is what we called it, the master at arms shack. You guys been on the ships, you know what I'm talking about, the master at arms shack. And so I'm in there, and I hear this ruckus coming. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm just doing paperwork. We've done a urinalysis. I had a bunch of urinalysis paperwork that I had to finish because I had to get the stuff out of the cooler, out of the refrigerators the next day and send it out because we were going to have mail call and helo it out. And so they come up and it's like 6 of the females and they have this girl and she is beat to hell.
Oh God.
And I'm like, what's going on here? And they're like, she fell down the steps, but this, like we were trying to get her up here. She kept trying to get away. She kept falling down the steps. I was like, how many times did this young lady fall down the steps? And there's this little, she was so sweet. She's a sonar tech. She was the funniest one. She's like, about 6. I'm like, but we caught her. She's the one that's been pooping in the showers. And I was like, but just her response was like, how many times did she fall down the steps? She looked at me and she goes, about 6. I was like,
about.
Good answer. And so,
yeah, it looks about 6.
But I had to do health and comfort in female birthing one time, and I went down, and so there's all these females, and there's this one female, and she's like really adamant. She's like, I don't want to do a health and comfort. I was like, the XO said I have to do a health and comfort on everyone in female birthing. I'm also doing all the males in combat systems. Next week I'm doing the other birthings. I was like, everybody has to do a health and comfort once every 6 months. It's just the way it works. And she's like, I don't want to do this. I'm like, well, I don't care. Unlock your locker so we can do a health and comfort. I'm not going to take anything. She unlocks her locker and she lifts up her rack. So the bed, it lifts up, and then that's your coffin locker. And it's a middle one. And I immediately see why she's all embarrassed. And I was like, there is the largest vibrator I have ever seen in my life. Like, it's not like a battery power. Like, this thing has a cord. And she looked at me and she's all embarrassed. And I was like, well, Davis, I mean, here's the thing. I'm not going to say anything about the fact that you have this. I was like, but you just got to get it electrical safety checked. And she's like, Giamon, you can't make me take this up to the electrical shop. And I was like, there are female electricians here. She's like, but they're going to know I have it. And I was like, Davis, you're telling me that they don't know you have that? You're telling me that they can't hear that?
Sounds like a chainsaw.
They gonna shatter your teeth.
Like, you can't tell me that the person in the rack above or below you does not already know that you have that? That thing is they're probably in their rack going, what the fuck is going on? Dude, it was one step down from the Naked Gun where they like crank started with an electric.
I got the same story, dude. So for those of you guys don't know, I was with HMX-1 Presidential Helicopter Squadron, and so I was an MP. So I was a presidential guard. Dude.
Got to put 2 stroke in that.
We had a lot of responsibilities, protecting the president and protecting the Marine One helicopter and stuff like that. We also had to, in times where we were back at home and we had to protect the base. And so we worked the front gate. And one day I was this is after 9/11. I was there during 9/11, all that stuff. This is just shortly after 9/11. And we had some serious security measures that we had, like at the front gate. Nobody's getting in there without getting, bomb search with the K9, and we're popping your trunk, we're popping your hood.
You're using all of it,
the whole thing. And so everyone knew that was the case. It'd been like that for a couple months. And this female officer comes through, little tiny lady too, and it's like, how's it going, ma'am? Hoorah, good morning, whatever. Just have you pull into the spot number 3, and I need you to pop the trunk, pop the hood, and we'll walk around, whatever. And she's like, sounds good, Marine, roger that. So she goes over there, and we had the routine, you start at the front driver door, you work your way around the front passenger door, rear passenger door, and the K9 guys going the other way around, and we all meet at the freaking trunk, and it's like, okay, ma'am, could you pop the trunk, please? And she's like, yes, yeah, no problem. So she pops the trunk. The damn trunk opens up like this, and there's the biggest black dildo I've ever seen in my entire life. It was like 3 feet long. It was just sitting right there in the trunk, and all of us just we just looked in there. She was standing right next to us, and we're like, hoorah, ma'am. And we just shut the trunk. Nobody said a word. She got in her car and left. It was freaking classic, dude.
I'm going to tell one quick, and I'm going to go to the toilet, and then David could tell. I know he's got one, but you talked about a big black dude. We had a guy on my first ship. Great dude. He was from Zaire, African dude. Spoke like he was the guy that you wanted to go out with, because like if you went out with him, because he spoke English with that deep voice with the we lost David again. That deep voice with the South, like that South African accent. and chicks just dug it. And if you went out with him, you were gonna go home with a chick because we called it overspray pussy because he would just get them so wound up.
Yeah.
That I don't know what happened with David. Like, I don't know what he did. David has disappeared. So on the he was a nutball. He was always fun to hang out with, but he had in his rack, he had this massive black dildo with a hand, like a sword handle on it. And he would take that thing and he'd swing it around in the birthing and just mess around. One night he got mad at this guy named Baker. And I don't know what Baker did, but he had grabbed that, like Baker's coming out, just come out of the shower, he's got a towel. Baker walked by his rack, said something to Odomegu. He was walking back and he didn't have enough time to get by. And Odomegu hit him across the back, like full on double-handed, like axe handle swing, and smacked him from shoulder blade to kidney. Bro, you could see the veins. It left a welt on his back where you could still see the veins. I got to see what's going on with David. We lost David. His internet is out. So
good.
Yeah, good. Because he's not good at it. Like, he doesn't tell stories. He's funny. I like David. I'm just joking.
Can you name that?
That is a Cold Steel AK-47. Come on, man. Who are you talking to?
Oh, I got one I don't think you can name.
Okay.
I got a lot, Mike.
Yeah, I know. We're either gonna have to end this and do it a different time, or I'm gonna wind up having to take an intermission because I've reached about max capacity on my. I got to see the handle. I can't see. Is that an Enrique Pena?
No.
I can't tell. I don't know what it is. I can't. That's a Fox Knives. Okay. I just can't think of the name.
It's one of my favorite.
I got my, I don't know if you've gotten to see it. I got my second grail. I had two knives that I said I had to own eventually. One was a Ferrum Forge Fortis with a specific blade finish, and the other was a Grimsmo Norseman. Now I own them both, and I have no excuse for buying another knife. So apparently, like,
that's a lot.
That I know, but like,
come on, Mike.
Shh, my wife will hear you. So, yeah, I'll tell you what, Justin, we'll do this again. I definitely want to get you on. We'll talk about the actual Fiberlite. We'll talk about the Ember Shirt Co stuff. I'll pick a time. I'm going to start doing it, guys. So if you're here, I'm going to start doing this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to try and limit it to like an hour and a half. But I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we're just going to have people on. I'll definitely get Justin on. We might bring David back. I'm going to have Joe Menard on.
Joe Maynard.
Well,
that's
whatever.
why I was giving you a hard time about Menard.
I watch racing. It's Menard Racing.
Here's for all the Barkey guys that were talking about Barkeys.
Yeah, mine's in a cabinet over there. So, yeah, I don't have any Safe Queens. You guys know that I think this is a $1,000 knife, and I was cutting down boxes with it. I was sharpening it in a live feed. I got to touch the edge up. I was cutting a bunch of cardboard with this. I know that people.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't have any Safe Queens either. This is my Medford in it, dude. It's been dropped all kinds of times. Has like chips everywhere and shit. But yeah, I don't have any Safe Queens.
That's ding ding to every time somebody donates money. I ding 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 it.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, guys. Like I said, all the donations that you guys get, I am splitting with the Bachelorette Prayer program. The only reason I'm splitting is because I have to pay for the software. Like, I honestly am paying for what we're using right now to do this. It's not really expensive, but it definitely is additional cost. So, yeah, it's been like 2.5 hours. This has been a blast. Guys that are still here, go back. If you're just coming in, go back to the beginning and watch it. We actually did some useful content talking about the Bachelorette Road program, veterans mental health, things like that. I will be posting when this goes up and I can get in and actually edit the live feed. I'm going to put a link to the Bastard Road program or Bastard Road project. And if you want to watch it, I'm not gonna lie, it is a tear-jerking thing to watch. It is on iTunes. I forget where else. But you can just look it up, Bastards Road program. If you look up it on the Bastards Road, if you look it up on IMDb, it definitely will. It'll take you to the right place where you can, it'll tell you where it's actually streaming.
Yeah, I think I watched it by renting it on YouTube.
I think you can rent it on YouTube. I think you can rent it on Apple, iTunes, but you can also buy it. So, but yeah, we had like you gave $50. I appreciate it. I mean, I may just give all of that to the Bastards Road program, Bastards Road project, because that's more than I need for that. So, but yeah, I'll get it figured out and I'll get with David and we'll figure it, because it takes a few days for all this post and then it takes like a month before I get paid on YouTube. So, and then
they're going to take their cut. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. If I had listed this as I think if I had listed this as a fundraiser, I would have been able to keep all of it. But I think because when you guys do like, I think it's cents on the dollar, because you like David, I guarantee David did like a $5. I think they only take a penny of that. And then I think for larger donations, it depends on how you fund it too. So it just depends. So,
well, thanks for letting me hijack your guys' stream and tell
absolutely, it was fun. Like I said, this was one of those ones I wanted to get you. I'm gonna try and get Jared Markle from Full 30 so that like we can talk about like what Full 30 is, not to detract from YouTube, but I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do a live feed talking about full30.com on YouTube. That should really incur some irk and ire. I'm bringing on the CEO of the direct competitor for YouTube. For the 2A stuff. So, but I mean, it's a completely different platform. YouTube can't get upset. They won't allow 2A and firearms content. So they really can't get upset if there's a competing platform that does allow it. So if you guys don't know, I do have a channel on full30.com. You can just follow me over there. All I have to do is search Crazy Sharp. I have affiliate links down below, including Ember Shirt Co. And anything you purchase through my affiliate link, Justin has to pay me for.
That's right. Yeah, we're doing like once a month on the payments, just because there's not a whole lot of.
Yeah, I mean, I only know of like maybe 4 or 5 shirts that got sold. So
yeah, we're actually completely redoing the website. It's mostly redone right now, but we're like I'm going to each one of the influencers, and we're taking away the collaboration shirt with Ember.
Okay. So what he's talking about is the. Oh wait, I thought you were talking about the Full 30 merch store.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
So we're like, for you, we'll probably still keep your Sea Snake shirt. We'll just take the Ember logo off the sleeve and it'll be yours. And then we're
really making either way.
Yeah, I know, but we're making stores specifically for each one of you guys that has your logos and things on it. So you're going to have a Crazy Sharp shirt with the big Crazy Sharp on the front. And we can make any shirt designs that you would like. I've already done.
There's been a lot of people that have talked about, because if you remember, I sent you the video where I was talking about the merch store and I showed you, and it was where PDM was drawing his own logo and it was like his tongue was out. And I told PDM, I was like, you can't just draw it on a shirt, and the P's backwards, by the way. So
right.
That's what I was thinking, like PDM, like standing there like, and then like with a backwards P.
Yeah, we could do all that stuff. But you technically, if you go to the Ember website now, you have your own stores, the Crazy Sharp store. There's only one shirt in there right now.
Yeah, it's just that.
Yeah, we're gonna make you a bunch of your own shirts with your logos on it and stuff like that. And we're also
guys, they're also doing the full30.com merch store. So a lot of the stuff you guys saw is no longer going to be. I'm kind of bummed about the coffee cups, because they were really cool. Bitches love coffee cups, man. So
yeah, we're gonna have
the shirts. I think the shirts would be a better seller anyway, especially if they're not the co-branded. Like you and I said, as much as I appreciate the fact they set the merch store up for me, I don't think we were ever going to sell a lot of stuff with that co-branded logo.
Yeah. It'll be all yours, all your stuff. We'll have hats, hoodies, stickers, patches, all that type of stuff on there. It just takes a little bit of time.
And Aiden, like I said, they have other designs. You don't have to just go in and look at just my design, because I only have the one. There's a lot of designs. Like I like that native hook design. I like the one lean to. design. There's a lot of really cool designs. I definitely looked at them, and so anything you purchase definitely will support the channel, and I would appreciate it. And like I said before, I have affiliate links for sharpening stones, tools that I use, knives that I recommend, and things like that. And I will be dropping in the comments, in the description below, I'll be dropping a link to the Bastards Road project. So, Justin,
Mike,
we're hanging out, bro.
Yeah, no problem, brother. I'll see you, man.
All right, guys, I appreciate it. And that's going to be the end of it, because if I don't go now, I'm going to pee my pants. I'll talk to y'all later. I love you all. Follow the stuff down below. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. You don't like them, give them a thumbs down, and share them with your friends. I'll see you guys later. I got a video going up at 4 p.m. tomorrow. I don't think there's going to be a live tomorrow morning. I have a bunch of things that I have got to do. I have a contract that I have to bid. So, guys,
hey, real quick, Mike, how many of your people are going to meet us up at Blade Show?
I'm really not sure. I know that I'm going. Nico is going. My friend Tino is going to be there. I'm going to be working the artisan cutlery table. I think Nico is going to go for 2 reasons. Nico is my channel manager, so I think a lot of the filming that I typically did at the knife shows, I think Nico's going to take up a good chunk of that, just because he's not going to be stuck at the table. I'm actually working the table. And just so you guys know, there is a chance that there may be a Blade Show West exclusive sea snake available only at Blade Show West for purchase. We haven't hammered it all out yet, but there's a chance. So, guys, take it easy. Like I said, if you read the scroll across, 22 a day isn't a joke. I've lost 5 friends this year, and all it takes sometimes is just reaching out and telling someone, hey, look, give me a call. That's all it takes, but you got to mean it. You can't just avoid that. You can't tell them that and then be like, when they call, you're like, oh, I don't have time for that shit. You got to mean it. You got to carry through on it. That's all it takes. I'm lucky. I have a really good wife. I have a really good daughter. They're willing to listen. And I have a really good psychologist. Comes in handy. So take it easy, guys. Later, Justin. I will see you all later. Bye.